Hey, don't be picking on my good buddy Mo, Geldie. You're going to get another spanking if you don't watch it, sweetheart.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
God, is that thing real?
No.
.10:02 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you. Let's see. First of all, Panthers hired Geldie. I guess I wasn't going to talk about that at the beginning because we got bigger fish to fry. But since he mentioned that and he's got that alleged contretemps with the Mo-Man,
absolutely,
we might as well strike at the Mo-Man, right? While the iron is hot.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Why not?
Just sounds like a little contrived controversy to me, just like thinking about the goddess leaving Air America. And, oh, is she really leaving? No. Just another publicity stunt. It won't help. It won't help. They're going under. I'll give them about another month or two at tops. See, it helps if you have, like, money when you start something like that, and if you pay your people. No, I mean, I don't want to nitpick, but it helps if you have enough money to, like, do the operation right and, like, to hire some people and to really have broadcasting people. And what a concept, I realize. Maybe WQAM someday will take up on that idea. Have some real broadcasting people, as opposed to people like Todd Dreck running around the building. Did you get that copy yet?
You talking to me?
No. I guess I'm going to have to get my pen sharpened up to strike those two out again today. Man, oh man, that is really pathetic, Todd. You are, just when I thought I realized how low he was, lower than a snake, he's about 400 yards beneath the snake, under the ground, somewhere in the middle from here to purgatory. You are the worst, Todd. Anyway, Panthers hired Geldie Geldstein, writes Barry Jackass. In a move overshadowed by the Panthers front office shakeup yesterday, the team named Steve Geldstein its radio play-by-play announcer as expected. He replaces the doddering old retiring Jugs McDonald. I've always wanted to do play-by-play, said Geldstein, who's been the team's pregame radio shrieker on QAM since '97. I've grown real close to the Panthers over the years. Hockey is the most challenging to do on the radio because of the speed of the game. Geldstein, 34, has announced. Now, I want you to understand his qualifications for the job, okay?
Okay.
Geldstein, 34, has announced 2 hockey games in his life, both in a fill-in role for the Panthers. He announced football, basketball, and lacrosse as a student at Syracuse University, at Cuse. Despite the fact that I have limited play-by-play experience, the Panthers showed a lot of confidence in me, said Geldstein, who will team with Randy Red Deer Moeller. They could have hired somebody from the minor leagues with more experience, but they thought what else I brought to the table was just as impotent. Geldstein said he'll make numerous appearances and speaking engagements on behalf of the team. Well, what does that mean? Who's he going to be speaking to?
Fans?
On behalf of the team?
Sure.
He said he'll continue doing his morning show for now. That line there by Barry Jackass, that is what absolutely put the chigger in the woodpile as far as Mo is concerned. He will continue doing his morning talk show for now, but we'll leave the long-term decision to WQAM and the Panthers. It's not his show, and I, for once, and believe me, I'm hard-pressed to ever agree with the Mo Man, with that low-life piece of turd. But in this particular case, he's got a point. What kind of crap is that, Barry, you little idiot? It's not his show. It never was his show. It never would be his show. Although, remember once upon a time, back in the day, remember that? When he and Norma Kent were like plotting and planning, I think it's going to be my show, and I'm going to take over the show, and I'm going to be on from like 5 in the morning till noon.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you do. He brings with him a dedication and passion for hockey and the Panthers, said Michael Yormark, the Panthers' chief operating officer. Geldie's commitment to the South Florida community has been proven through years of volunteerism and fundraising, which is something that is imperative within our organization, especially the volunteering part, since we have got no money. Among those passed over for the job was Craig Minervini, Fox Sports Net's Panthers host. I'm disappointed, he said. I was born for that sort of job. I wish Steve the best. Boy, that's a shot, isn't it?
A little bit.
I'm disappointed I was born for that sort of job. I wish Steve the best. That is a real backhanded, under-the-table kind of comment, if you ask me. Like a little shot, a shtuch. And by the way, Craig, you don't deserve the job. Even Geldie, as squeaky as he is, at least he's got some qualification. What the hell do you know about hockey? Just because you sucked your way into that pregame show or whatever it was? Come on, Craig Minervini, who are you kidding? They didn't want you on there in the first place. God. Anyway, here's the poll result from yesterday. Which of these best describes what you believe? As in...
Oh, God!
Right. The Lord is watching your selection here. 1,743 votes. Probably more now, but I printed this out and I'm not doing it again. Which of these best describes what you believe? It's all a pile of bullshit, meaning religion. 717. Over 40%, 41.1% of this audience thinks religion's a pile of crap, a crock. I'm agnostic. I don't know. 426. 24.4% of the audience who are sufficiently intimidated not to say that it's a pile of crap. There is a hell and we're living in it, 211. There is a heaven and a hell, 181. Oh my. Armageddon is coming soon, 83. 4.7% of this audience are crazier than a bedbug and ought to be rounded up before noon. There is a heaven, hell, and a purgatory, 72. And there is no hell, only heaven, 53. Isn't that soothing and calming? In other words, if that's the case, then what do you got to lose, right? Go out and screw your brains out. Have a good time. Steal your neighbor's whatever he's got. Car. Have a great time. Do a cross-country thing. Rob a few banks along the way. Because there's no hell, but there's a heaven. Oh, how wonderful. But, of course, if you're a bad person, maybe you just won't get to heaven. You ever think about that?
Well, if you follow the formula, you will, no matter how bad you are.
Now, speaking... What's that?
That ain't me.
How'd I do that? I was moving some stuff around. But at least it shows the phone works. Now, I don't want to, pee on anybody's parade, especially your president, whom I did not watch last night. But we've seen plenty of the clips this morning where he was talking about prison. Yeah. Like that. Boy, you talk about illiterate. You talk about... And even when he can pronounce the word, he always says it in this very pedantic way. So, do you hear that? I actually said a word. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's got more than one syllable.
And then rock up and down when you say something like you just did good.
Yeah. Oh, brother, it is just scary. But, speaking of scary, now didn't he say in that speech last night that, because they showed the clips this morning, which you can't avoid, he's everywhere, besides talking about Abu Ghraib prison. He said, I sent American troops, he didn't say invaded, I sent American troops to Iraq to protect the American people. Isn't that what he said?
Something like that.
Paraphrasing, but it's pretty damn close. Well, it evidently didn't work too good because Reuters just reports only moments ago Al-Qaeda's got more than 18,000 militants ready to strike, and the U.S.-led occupation of Iraq has accelerated recruitment to the ranks of Osama bin Laden to his network, a leading London think tank said today. Just like Osama predicted. Go ahead, make my day. Right?
Right.
And he got sucked right into this trap. Al-Qaeda's finances were in good order, its middle managers provided expertise to Islamic militants around the globe, and bin Laden's drawing power was as strong as ever. The International Institute for Strategic Studies, the IISS, said. Oh, I don't like that SS. I get nervous when I hear that SS. It warned in its annual strategic survey, SS, that Al-Qaeda would keep trying to develop plans for attacks in North America and Europe, and that the network ideally wanted to use weapons of mass destruction. Meanwhile, soft targets encompassing Americans, Europeans, and Israelis and aiding the insurgency in Iraq will do, the Institute said. In other words, they're satisfied with that for the time being until they get to the big stuff. Galvanized by Iraq, if compromised by Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda remains a viable and effective network of networks, it said. The IISS said al-Qaeda lost its base after the toppling of the Taliban in Afghanistan in late 2001, but had since adapted to become more decentralized, virtual, and invisible in more than 60 countries. The Afghanistan intervention offensively hobbled but defensively benefited al-Qaeda, it said. The Institute said 2,000 al-Qaeda members and more than half of the group's 30 leaders
About 30, man.
had been killed or captured. The IISS said the 1,000 al-Qaeda militants estimated to be in Iraq were a minute fraction of its potential strength. A rump leadership is still intact. A rump.
Rectum.
Still intact, and over 18,000 potential terrorists are at large, with recruitment accelerating on account of Iraq, the IISS said. It gave no source for the figure. Let me say it again. Recruitment is accelerating on account of Iraq. The Iraq attack. That's what it accomplished for us, besides losing all those hundreds and soon-to-be thousands of lives and the thousands of Iraqi lives and all these other things and turning the world against us to hate us like poison. But it also accomplished the accelerating recruitment on the part of al-Qaeda and all the other terrorist organizations.
Somebody should have said that up front.
Oh. Purported video and audio tapes by bin Laden have appeared from time to time despite a U.S.-led manhunt since the 9/11 attacks on New York and Washington to capture him dead or alive. Bin Laden's charisma, presumed survival, and elusiveness enhance al-Qaeda's iconic drawing power, the IISS be saying. It said al-Qaeda was reported to be exporting extremism on a global scale, with middle managers providing planning, logistical advice, material, and financing to smaller groups in Saudi Arabia. They should only croak, Ghraib and Morocco, and probably Indonesia and Kenya. The IISS said the Madrid train bombings in March suggested al-Qaeda now had fully reconstituted and had its sights firmly set on the U.S. and its closest allies in Europa. End of tale. End of that sad, sad tale. How do you like that?
I don't.
So he can make all the speeches he wants, but he's got us really deep into the woodpile, man, and with no idea how to get out. Hey, anybody want the keys? It's almost June 30th. It's just about a month away. Anybody want them?
No.
In fact, the ones that want them, they're the ones that we don't want them. You know what I'm saying? That's a quantum leap. 12 minutes after 10 at 560 WQM. We got Mad Dog back at 2 today. We got the Humper. The Hebrew Hammer's flying in right now. He's on the plane. Look in the sky. It's the plane. It's kind of tilting off to one side. That must be where Hank's sitting. Hank will be on 4 this afternoon till 6:35 when we got the Marlin on deck thing. Marlins at the Reds. 7:10. Marlins kicked ass. They won 3 out of 4 from Zona. Well, what a terrible crowd yesterday, Josh.
Hey, what are you going to do?
That's pathetic. You see what the box score said?
Hey, we got 40,000 before.
Do you know what the box score said? That was Randy Johnson and Dontrell Willis, okay? What did the box score say for yesterday? 105 on a almost summer afternoon. 10,000.
Yeah.
Which means there were like 6,000 or 7,000 people really there, maybe?
Yeah, pretty much.
Boy, that is embarrassing. That is humiliating and degrading. Oh, but it's 1 PM on a Monday. Yeah, big deal.
It was too hot for the people to come in.
The Cubs play most of their games, home games, in the daytime and have for years. There's no excuse. People take off from work on a rare home day game like that. Not in South Florida, though. Bastards. Anyway, Marlins at the Reds, 7:10 tonight, followed by Eddie Decay. Hey, if you're still a little reluctant to buy your bet over the phone, why are you afraid of that? Because for over 25 years, millions of people, including me, have dialed 1-800-MATTRES for the best deal in the world on the best name brands in betting. It's the easiest possible way to get you a great night's sleep. There's absolutely no risk, because if it's not perfect in every way, and the mattress too, just call them back for a full comfort exchange. It's completely free within 30 days.
About 30, man.
No extra fees, no strings attached. Dial Mattress is ranked #1 in the world in customer satisfaction, and they were winners of the 2004 Better Business Bureau Local Torch of Excellence Award. There's none better. When you call 1-800-Mattress, you'll get the best prices on the best brands with delivery on your schedule when it's convenient for you and the best customer service in the business. Why would you waste your time and money schlepping from showroom to showroom? It's total waste. Dial Mattress has the complete line of Sealy, Serta, King Coil, Simmons, Tempur-Pedic, and even Stearns & Bananas Foster. From Kendall to Stewart, Palm Beach to Fort Myers, Dial Mattress can deliver the finest bedding in the universe, but you have to just make that one easy call and then leave it up to them. Call 1-800-MATTRESS. That's 1-800-MATTRES, or online it's mattress.com.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It stinks in Miami town at 560 WQAM. Don't like all the Harper. Dum every time I see. That red dimwit. On my TV, he's President Dumb. Republicans muscled in, an inarticulate idiot. I don't know why they would want this guy, but now he's here. We're screwed the next 4 years with President Dumb. Oh, what I did to count votes once more and get who we all voted for. Why did you want this? Lips drumming, stupid heat. Mindless, drunk, and rich kid. He's even dumber than me. He's President Dumb. You don't care what it took. You got him in by hook or crook. The Christian right knows what's best for you and I, but have no fear. We've got a great leader here with President Dumb. President Dumb.
Oh, and that's some of the big news in town. Rick Sanchez out July 1st. Bye-bye, Rick Sanchez. How do you like that? Ricardo Sanchez, adios. He's a ghost. Well, we got a lot of stuff here today, you know what?
Well, better talk fast.
President spoke last night. You watch it? No.
No.
You watch it?
No.
Josh?
Nah.
So that's 0 for 3, not a good batting average right there.
I wish I had,
Why is that?
so that I could caught that fumble.
You could everybody said, yeah, you can see it about a million times today, like that. It was a beautiful thing. Anyway, let's get to important stuff like who's naked today. I mean, who's on our behind the beaded curtain?
Right.
Lara Flynn Boyle is there. If you're over the age of 72, you got 42 pieces of ID. John Ashcroft will maybe permit you for a quick peek and the picture too. Lara Flynn Boyle was born March 24th, 1970, which makes her 34, if my math is correct, to 21-year-old Sally Boyle. For Sally and young Lara, money was not plentiful, so Sally was required to work 3 jobs in addition to raising baby Lara by herself. Since Lara was mostly around Sally, they developed a bond that still binds Lara and Sally today. Until recently, Sally lived with Lara. Now they live only 10 minutes away from each other. Growing up, Lara had many struggles, including dyslexia and learning disability. Still, she couldn't let that get to her, and she knew she had to be strong. She finally graduated. The day after doing so, she and her mother, Sally, moved. They drove on what would be the road to fame. She soon landed roles in movies like Poltergeist 3 and Wayne's World. Since then, she's become a prolific actress on both the small and big screen. She likes to play big ball and small ball. She's got 2 tattoos. She's got a Celtic cross on her left ankle. And why do we say Celtic, by the way? Do we know?
No, Celtic, who knows?
No, it's Celtic. And a shamrock near her left pelvic point. In other words, I know what it is, but I just don't know why it is. Moved to L.A. with her mother the day after her high school graduation. Boy, she and Sally are pretty tight, you know it?
Apparently.
Educated at the Chicago Academy for the Arts, mother is her assistant still, even now. Was named after the Julie Christie character in Dr. Zhivago, hence Lara's theme. Remember Lara's theme? Somewhere, yeah. Auditioned for the role of Ally McBeal. Grew up in Chicago. Reportedly was a passenger in Jack Nicholson's Mercedes when the car collided with another car in the Hollywood Hills, July 8th, 1999. She was dating David Spade at the time. Oh, I'm so sorry. And reportedly fled the scene for fear of being seen romantically with Nicholson. She's dyslexic. We just heard about that. As a young child, she was extremely shy. Dated Jack Nicholson. Boy, this is the worst. This is from IMDb, no less, which usually I can count up
Right.
for some good crap. Got her SAG, Screen Actors Guild card, working on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, even though all of her on-screen line wound up on the cutting room floor. Oh, no. How do you like that? So evidently, if you believe this, she's never been married, I guess, huh? Oh, yeah, she's divorced. She was married to John Patrick D. III from 96 to 98, but is now divorced. So there you go, a little mini bio on Lara Flynn Boyle, who's there naked as a jaybird on NeilRogers.com behind the beaded curtain today. That's what you got. Here's our poll question today. WQAM, hello. What is it?
Yes.
WQAM.
Yes. Can I leave a message for Neil?
Sure. What is it?
Celtic is the American pronunciation.
Right. As in Boston Celtics?
Pardon me?
As in Boston Celtics?
Yeah. And Celtic is the Scottish pronunciation.
Well, the hell with the Scots, man. They run around like a bunch of pansies with those damn kilts on.
Yes, but we have Flemings and we have Sean Connerys and little things like that. But other than that, yeah, we walk around in our kilts.
Okay, don't do it anymore. And put away those high socks, too. They're silly.
Yeah, well, I like the tassels on the side.
Okay, see ya. And what's the story with Prince Charlie? Why does he run around like that? He's not Scottish. He's a Nazi, man. He's part of the Battenberg clan.
He's got a little Scottish in him, is what I
I guess. It wouldn't surprise me.
Rectum.
Oh, speaking of that, Duff is getting all checked out today. Duff is at the
Rectum.
doctor.
Would you like to feel relaxed once again?
Oh. Anyway, here's our poll question today. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? Boy, that certainly covers a lot of territory. But I got 6 choices on here. Oh, and there's a big chemical plant fire in Conyers, Georgia.
Yeah, Conyers.
Now, do you remember Conyers, Georgia, what was going on there?
Wasn't it a Virgin Mary thing or
the
something?
The Virgin Mary sighting, right. She was stopping at another one of them drive-thrus at the bank. Well, you know, if you're going to travel the world, you got to, make a lot of withdrawals.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to say something about deposits, but I guess we better not.
No.
And how come all the other radio shows we are informed are using the S-bag and D-bag words, things like that, and we are not? We're going to find out about that this week. We're going to get all these things straightened out. You know what I'm talking about?
All of these things.
Right.
Because they didn't ask Joyce if they could.
Yeah, they didn't ask Joyce over in Naples or somewhere on the West Coast, some nose picker, if they could say S-bag. What a crock of crap, It's not bad enough that we have things that we can't play anymore and can't say anymore and can't do anymore. But when we have the company that's like really doing the deep knee bends, well, of course we know why. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election. That's all one. He's a moron. He's a dangerous religious fanatic. He's just a face man for neocon extremists. He's divisive and hate-mongering, or nothing. He's a great leader, which at the moment has got 13.6%. 12 people in this audience out of the first batch of votes on here. How many votes we got so far? 88. And 13.6 says nothing bothers him about George W. Bush. He's a great leader. You people need very, very serious mental health, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? This man is dumber than a box of rocks. He's dumber than sawdust. Prison. He's a compulsive liar. He's making human sacrifice. I guess maybe that's the religious thing coming in. What the hell good is a religion without human sacrifice?
The Bible's all for it.
Even Miguel likes to nail a chicken on his door every morning, he said.
Or a mezuzah.
Right, or both. In fact, if you nail a mezuzah over the chicken, you got it covered. That's what I'm hearing. And especially if you cover it all up with a big burqa, then you really got it made. And if you do it while you're wearing your magic underwear, then nobody can touch you then. And if you shave your head bald and wear that purple outfit over your magic underwear, then you're made in the shade. Trust me when I'm telling you. Even Joe Pesci was never made like that. 26 past 10. Do I sound like I'm really on a roll today? I am.
Good.
Must be that Geldie crap. Oh, and look at this. Once again, Todd Breck strikes terror into the hearts. I'm looking at my log. As Todd just can't get the job done. They just honored him over in Naples as our highest billing sales hole, which goes to show you what the hell they know about broadcasting.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Holy cow, Aaron's coming. Virgin Mary.
Now the Pope depends on you. The powers you possess. Since you saved his life with your flying scissor knife, he's got a job for you to do. Virgin Mary. You have a brand new style too. We love the way you walk your due. With the big B on your chest and bulletproof skin tight dress, defending those who are oppressed. Who's with the speed of a gazelle, sends the bad guy straight to hell. When a building starts to glow with your image, then we know you're crushing crime with one mighty blow.
10:31. Speaking of Bay, just got a fax from my good friend Ian Fromowitz over at Mohawk Raceway here in Toronto. Says, sorry to hear that Carl Allen died yesterday. A sad day in harness racing, and you are absolutely correct, Ian. Carl Allen. Used to be a blacksmith. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
Had two first names. His son's Rod, and who's the other son? It'll come to me. Anyway, it's Fritz, a lot of great trotters also, and he was just a great horseman, and was still driving at the age of 74, as a matter of fact. Died yesterday. I didn't know that. Thanks for the bad news, Ian, and good luck to you, okay? Oy vey. Touch that dial after Stern. Now, this is one of the most amusing things that you sent me this fax. This is hysterical. Old Paul and Ancient Ron on
the whole
the
thing
big...
get through? Because it's kind of on a long sheet over here.
I don't know. I think it's... no, the whole thing came through.
Okay.
Ashley Fance. Anybody know who that is?
No.
No, Ashley Fance. Now, first we had Howard Cohen writing about radio in the business section about how Big 106 didn't have any decline, losing Howard Stern show, which was the biggest pile of crap since Todd Dreck walked into QAM. And now we got Ashley Fance. See, they don't really have anybody that writes about radio. Of course, we're supposed to have somebody at the Sun Sentinel who does, Tom Jicka, but he's too busy writing about the same shows going off the air 8 million times. What was it? What was the one that went off last week? Frasier. How many columns did Tom write about that?
About 30,
Tom,
man.
you're a loser, man. You're strictly out of touch. You're just, you're hopeless, okay? When the really big story strikes, when that radio station drops off the face of the globe and drops from a 9.1 share in February to a 1.8 or whatever it was in March, and you're like totally lost. Even though Muff, she gave you the numbers, still can't write about it. Lost. In the land of the lost, Tommy. Tell him about Dick Casper, what a great radio guy he was in the market. He writes about Rick Casper. Man, you just ain't got it, Tommy, okay? You're strictly Bush League, baby. Anyway, Ashley Fance writes, touch that dial after Stern a new AM lineup. AM meaning morning, not AM on your dial, of course.
Right.
Preparing for their Monday morning commute, many South Floridians tuned into 94.9 Zeta FM to listen to Paul Castronova and young Ron Brewer. Did they really?
No.
No. Probably was an accident. As a matter of fact, even when Stern went off, they went down. They didn't gain. How do you like that? Isn't that pathetic?
Yeah.
That was really sad. Only one other person I can think of in that category.
Absolutely.
I don't want to mention no names, Mo. Instead, they heard the radio equivalent of Comedy Central's The Man Show, a testosterone-soaked, beer-swigging, chicks in bikinis jumping on trampolines kind of morning show. Goodbye, Paul and Ron. Oh, there's one for Boca Brian. Goodbye, Paul and Ron. I can hear it right now, can't you?
Yeah, because you just sang it.
Oh, who made their debut on classic rock station WBGG FM Monday morning. Hello, Lex and Terry. See, they put them on there to try to, salvage at least a 2 or 3 share in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, because other than that, they just vanish off the face of the globe. You'll see when the trend comes out on June the 2nd, I think it is. Because that'll be March, April, and May, which is all Sternless on Big, and you'll see, oh, man, a decline to likes of which nobody ain't never seen. Anyway, debuted Monday morning. Hello, Lex and Terry. It says a 25-city national syndicate out of Jacksonville, whose most popular bid, Drunk B -- Fridays, involves urging women to get inebriated on air. You can put bitch in the paper, Ashley. They got to put the B blank Drunk Bitch Fridays, obviously. Okay, sounds like a rednecky thing to me. Sounds like Ron and Ron Jr. People love that spot, said Peter Welpton, Director of Syndication for Lex and Terry at WZZR, a West Palm Beach talk station as part of the syndicate. The latest ratings indicate that the duo is the best thing to happen to the station's bottom line in years. David Ross, Regional Vice President of Cheap Channel, which owns WZZR, Zeta, and Big, said and everything else, said the corporation's yanking of Howard Stern in February from the Big 105.9 and all other Clear Channel stations amid the heightened scrutiny that followed Janet Jackson's nipple-bearing Super Bowl appearance left a gap that had to be filled, a big gap.
Rectum.
Yeah. That's probably yours, David. Stern was the foundation of Big's listenership until the Monday switch. The station had been sampling morning shows from around the country. Yeah, something good like Bob and Tom. Did they want to put that on there? No. They got a couple of rednecks with an advice show. Stern was the foundation. I just read that. Both Harley riders and sons of salesmen, Lex and Terry managed to be edgy and aggressive without ever having been cited by the FCC, Ross said. I feel they understand what a sensitive time we were in, the 32-year broadcaster said. They're careful about things. Castronova, 44. Boy, he looks bad for 44, you know what?
For 44?
What you think?
You could have
Because I ran into him at the Sawgrass on Thursday.
In the bathroom?
At the tea room. He was drilling glory holes. I couldn't believe it. Castronova, 44 of Lighthouse Point, and Brewer, 39, who looks not a day under 80. of Parkland said the leap to big is the one they've wanted for a long time. If that's the case, how come they kept sucking around for a job at QAM, Castronova? Begging, pleading, calling P.D. Lenny, calling up Muff, calling up Clarence, calling up people to call the janitor. Even the janitor left me a note, said Castronova called, wanted a job. I'm getting older, jokes Castronova, addressing Zeta's targeted younger demographic. The 50-year-old guy cannot appeal to the 18-year-old guy. That's what you think, sweetheart. But then again, he and Brewer will continue their usual shtick, including lots of Dolphins talk and Love Connection, a segment similar in tone and format to the 70s television horrible show by the same name with the unctuous Tuck Swillery. It's a better fit for us, Brewer said. Isn't that what they always say? It's like when Jim Sarney, that idiot in the Sun Sentinel, wrote when they stuck us on from 9 to 1. Oh, Neil Rogers is a better fit at 9 o'clock. Yeah, right, Jim. What the hell do you know? Fit this. How about my foot in your...
Rectum.
That sounds like a good fit.
Tight.
Man, what a joke. What a market, man. Oh, brother, how sad. Let's have a morning party. I'm not talking M-O-R. I'm talking with a U in it. We'll say Kaddish for radio. It's dead, baby. Radio is finito. Nice going, Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. Nice going there, all you people at the FCC. They killed it. They butchered it. They destroyed it. They deballed it. They decapitated it. They did a Nicholas Berg on it, is what they did to the radio industry and to your radio right now. Paul and Roger, just reshuffling the same old tired crap. Why didn't they bring in Bob and Tom? Huh? They're great.
Who? They Clear Channel?
Yeah, they're on some Clear Channel stations, I believe, I think.
They ought to be.
Christ almighty, man. Christ almighty motors. What's wrong with you people? It's almost as if they're trying to punish, like an S&M exercise. They want to punish the listeners in South Florida. Anyway. So that's the latest with that. And then, of course, all those silly rumors about Randy's walking out on Air America, which she's frustrated, I'm sure of that, because they're not getting paid and their equipment sucks and all of these things, you know. And they have no idea. They have no broadcasters involved in that project. That's the problem. It would be like opening up a fishing tackle company with people who never went fishing in their lives, something like that. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What bothers you most about George W. Bush? That's our poll question today. We already have 204 votes. He's a moron, 57. He's just a face man for neocon extremists, 50. Meaning Wolfowitz and Pearl and Cheney and Abrams and who'd I leave out? Whoever else.
I'm thinking. Those guys.
He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 39. Nothing. He's a great leader, 28. 13.7% of this audience say nothing about George W. Bush disturbs them at all. He's a great leader. Follow him right over the edge of the cliff. Come on. Wow. Oh, it just went down to 13.2%. He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 25. He's divisive and hate-mongering, 6. Now you're going to say, oh, well, you put so many negative categories. Well, the one, nothing. I mean, that's all-encompassing. We don't need any more, right?
Right.
If you think he's doing good, if you like him, if you think he's never stole a freight train, never knocked that broad up in Texas, all these things, then more power to you. If you think he didn't lie about those weapons of mass destruction, about Al-Qaeda being in bed with Saddam Hussein,
that was just
and now all of a sudden, huh?
That was just bad intelligence.
Right. That's right. Just like Roland Colin said, he's sorry, he apologizes. How about apologizing to those 800 dead Americans over there, huh, Colin? You idiot. You sellout. This business, he's just being a good soldier. He's a sellout. That's what he is. And for some strange reason, man, he's like the Teflon Schwarzer. I don't know what his deal is. Everything just rolls right off his back, like a duck. You know what I mean?
Like a duck?
Oh, Colin Powell. We like Colin Powell. Well, based on what? Based on the fact that he lied at the UN? Based on the fact that he set the stage, he was the willing pawn for this administration, for these lies, for all these dead kids over there, for all the dead Iraqis? Thousands and thousands. There's probably about 20,000 by now.
Mm-hmm.
Emancipation by decapitation, that's what it's all about. Maybe they were just trying to liberate Nicholas Berg, you think? It's part of our policy. Yeah, emancipation by decapitation. Oops, there goes your head.
We freed him from it.
And let me tell you, even bad guys have weddings.
That's right.
20 before 11 at 560 WQM. Nobody wants to talk or even think about cancer, heart disease, all of these grotesque things, lung disease. But it's a proven fact that disease responds extremely well in most cases to treatment if detected early. That's why I enthusiastically recommend you Hollywood Diagnostic Center. I was there about, 3-4 weeks ago, something like that, a few weeks ago. Had the full body scan and the heart scan, and they said, my God, he actually has a heart. And things turned out great, and you walk out of there with a tremendous smile on your puss knowing that you're in good shape, or the other way around, if you do have a problem starting to develop, you can catch it in time while still you can do something about it. Hollywood Diagnostic Center is proud to announce their virtual colonoscopy, which is so much less invasive than a traditional one. their coronary heart score, and full-body screening exams that can detect cancer and other life-threatening diseases in their early stages. You don't even need a doctor's referral to get this done. For all your imaging exams, call Hollywood Diagnostic Center at 954-966-3600 for the test that can give you and your family peace of mind and maybe even save your life. And no matter what your age, let's say you're like maybe in your 30s or 40s, but you have a history of lung cancer in your family and you're a smoker, any of these things, when in doubt, go get it checked out. At Hollywood Diagnostic Center, they offer state-of-the-art imaging equipment with open MRI, high-speed CAT scan, nuclear medicine, and much, much more. Hollywood Diagnostic Center, they know their stuff. They've been serving South Florida for over 20 years. Their facility also provides a complete mobile diagnostic service that can come right to you. So call Hollywood Diagnostic Center today for your imaging exam. Set it up today. Please do it. Like I said, it could be one of the most important calls you might ever make. Call them at 954-966-3600.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Rectum.
Protect us from ourselves. You gotta watch what you say, you better or else. You're busted, you're busted. The word police are monitoring every
Boys.
Like they say this country's
I hereby order you to desist in using any coarse language by the power vested in me and our Lord God Bush, the Federal Communication Commission, and my proxy, Michael Howell.
The word police, they want to bash in my head. The word police don't like the words that I said. The word police, they want my civil rights dead. The word police. The word police. The word police.
1047, speaking of Geldie, I'll just mention it briefly since how many people we have who are hockey fans in South Florida.
About 30, man.
Another change in the organization, a massive house cleaning, as Rick Dudley is out. I thought he was going to be the savior of the organization is what they were touting. He was the architect of Tampa Bay, which are in the Stanley Cup Finals, which starts tonight, and yada, 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 but he's out. And being announced tomorrow, Jacques Martin, who was canned in Ottawa, because he gets the team to play real good during the regular season, and then they choke like crazy in the playoffs. But the Panther fans would be real happy if they just made it to the playoffs. So I guess he's the perfect guy. He's going to be the new coach, and Mike Keenan comes back again. How do you like that?
Oi!
You ready for that, George?
No, I'm not ready for it.
Mike Keenan is the general mangler this time, as opposed to being the coach.
I don't think I'll ever be ready for that.
No. So we got a new broadcaster, a new general manager, a new coach. Does anybody in South Florida care? No. Stanley Cup Finals tonight, Calgary at Tampa Bay. I bet you we got a whole bunch of people from South Florida head over to Tampa for the game tonight, don't you think?
No. Oh, yeah, sure.
In fact, aren't you going?
Right now.
See you. Here's the what bothers you most about George W. Bush. I bet we're going to get a lot of votes on this. 275. He's a moron, 74. He's just a face man for neocon extremists, 69. Of course, most of these are all, just choose the one. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 53. Nothing. He's a great leader, 40. 14.5%.
Oh, my God.
Wow. That is staggering. Aren't you shocked?
Shocked.
He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 29, and he's divisive and hate-mongering, 10. I guess those 40 people never read any of the books. They don't read the Internet. They have no idea what's really going on in the world. Or, more likely, they don't really want to know. And, of course, whatever books they probably read are the ones by David Frum, stuff like that. Matt Fudge. This kind of crap. But at any rate. And then whatever they read on the Internet, it's probably like the Fudge Report and the Newsmax.com and the FreeRepublic.com, all of these other crazed right-wingers. Speaking of crazed, they just showed that thing in Najaf, I believe, where they had the little damage to one of the holy temples in Iraq?
Yeah, there was a bit of a scratch on the paint or something.
There was a scratch on the gold there.
Uh-oh.
And these people are like smashing themselves in the head, and they're crying, and they're hysterical. So I think it proves once again that the term crazed religionist is redundant. Right? Yeah. And, of course, you see the people with their magic flying carpets, and they're throwing themselves on the ground. And and the people at the Wailing Wall, the Orthodox Jews. I'm telling you, man, the religious nuts, you people scare the crap out of me, and the rest of you people ought to be scared too.
I'm scared.
Because that's what it's all about, is crazy religious fanatics. That's what it's all about, and nobody wants to talk about that because they're scared crapless of religion, man. You don't want to diddle with the religionists.
Be afraid.
Be very afraid. Now, we ought to take a call or two here today. I mean, like yesterday, we had a short show. We only took, 3 or 4 calls, something like that?
Maybe.
And it was fabuloso, man. We had a great time here yesterday. Because I don't want to revert to reading all these bedtime stories, but I'm gonna. The Spirit of Christ is compelling me. I don't know what it is.
You better not prevert.
Well, too bad. I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff here in the 5 months to come, whether you like it or not. At least while I'm here. Of course, you'll be on most of the summer. Thank God. Boy, that was great yesterday. 2.5-hour show. Wait till Thursday. The pregame show starts at noon.
All right.
Oh, man.
All right.
Not that we don't want to be here the whole 4 hours to save the world from itself.
All right.
But that's sure a nice reprieve, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
WQAM, hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've got a little suggestion for today's poll.
Oh. Poll is closed, sorry. We don't need the poll build today, okay? I know that's your speciality out there in the audience. No, the poll is closed. That's it. No new suggestions. If we're going to take any calls, it's going to be from people who actually have something to say, which I realize you better mark the day on the calendar because that could be the first time in history of this show. But that's what it's going to be. Otherwise, I'm moving right on with my agenda. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Hey, listen, about 6-7 years ago, you sent me a hat. The front said, Neil knows hockey, and the back said, Hank knows fat. I think we need to adjust that to something about Geldie. What do you think?
Well, Geldie knows something, but we can't say the word on the air.
Yeah, but how about this?
Yeah.
Neil knows pucks. Goldie just sucks.
Oh, I like that. That's
all right,
good.
Neil, you take care of yourself.
Okay, thanks for the good news, pal. Geldie sucks. Now, we're picking out Geldie. Now, he has broadcast 2 hockey games in his life. I think that makes him eminently qualified. Don't you?
Sure, why
And
not?
that Red Deer Randy Moeller man sucking up. Now, Joe Rose gave us the real inside story there that Randy Moeller was just really pissed off about the whole Geldie thing. It's all a big ego trip. It's just they're all fighting and tearing like a cat fight, you know? That's what it is. As if anybody really cares.
I don't care.
Line 9, WQAM, hello. He's doing his Geldie play-by-play. Come on now.
It's a goal, it's a goal, it's a goal. It's a penalty.
It's
Come
a
on,
slap shot.
Cut it out. In stereo. WQAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
There's a stipulation in Geldie's contract.
And what is that?
He has to sport a mohawk.
I'll see it more. WQAM, hello.
I'm crazy.
WQAM, hello. QAM. I hear you. Or is that like a recording? Are we on hold or something? We don't have time for it. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, we'll talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Didn't recognize your voice right over this little cell phone, but I love your show, and it's cool when you pick on Goldie or Mo or whoever. But it's almost sounding a little embarrassing, like maybe you're jealous that he got the job and you didn't or something.
Well, what is with this phony voice?
What phony voice? It's me.
With this phony voice. Do you always talk like that?
Absolutely.
Why the hell would I be jealous? What do I want to do the Panther games for? I compete
I
for a
thought you
Panther
would want
job?
to announce them.
No.
All right, well, whatever. It's just coming across that way, pal. Take care.
Okay. Yeah, get a real voice. And also, I forgot to mention this after the break. Don't send me any more faxes from Dave the Cop. I saw it. I thought maybe it might be interesting. And then before I read it, it was a whole page. And at the bottom, Dave the Cop. Get your own show, Dave, okay? No, I'm tired of this crap. We get the same stuff from the same people. I mean, the good faxers, they send a short little blurb. And if we want, we read them. If not, that's okay. But Dave the Cop, this is one of the 3 or 4 people out there that wants to have his own show. Good luck to you, okay? Here, Clear Channel's got a lot of openings, all right? Go save some people, Dave. What kind of a cop has got the time to sit down and write that kind of garbage, right?
South Florida cop.
Don't send me any more, go get some donuts, okay? Go put the pot of coffee on there at Dunkin' Donuts, which we hate Dunkin' Donuts on this show like poison. WQAM, hello.
I just want to work for...
WQAM, hello.
Ooh, the Berlin Wall. Ooh.
WQAM, hello.
This is Eddie.
Eddie, fake Eddie, bad. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay.
Hi, Barry!
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you kept mentioning, a lot of the Jews are pro-Bush and so forth. About 2 months ago, there was an article in the Sun Sentinel where like 38% of them are supporting, George Bush and so forth. And there's a guy that calls you once in a while, calls you anti-Semitic, or tells you that he wants to kill all the Arabs and stuff like that. And it's funny, I've heard him on Richard Pearl's show, who is Jewish, of course. I've heard him on Aruka every time, because he...
Francisco Aruka?
Francisco Aruka.
Right.
And it's just that, he gets around what I'm trying to say. But I got a nickname for them.
Yes?
I call them Jewsies, Jewish Nazis.
Oh, good. I like that.
You want to get them going, you call them a Jewish Nazi, because they're just doing the same things the Germans used to do in Europe during World War II anyway.
Because he might be supporting a Uzi. And have a great day. What do you say?
Juicy fruit.
How's that poll coming? Take a look at it and weep. What bothers you the most about George W. Bush? It's a good poll question, especially on the day after that speech that none of us watched. 336 votes, but I do wish we would have had that clip about Abu Ghraib prison. He's a moron, 91. I mean, that's obvious. Just looking at him, anybody can see that. He's just a face man for a neocon extremist, 85. That's close. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 65. Nothing bothers me. He's a great leader, 46, 13.6%. Idiots. He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 36. And he's divisive and hate-mongering, 13. And by the way, those same 46 people who say that nothing bothers them, they would tell you that Bubba is just a degenerate and he was a S-bag, which we can't say on the air. But we will starting next week, you'll see. Or even sooner. S-bag, S-bag. 10:56 at 560 WQAM. Summertime in South Florida guarantees three things. Heat, humidity, hurricanes, and probably a fourth, mosquitoes the size of bowling balls. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you protect your home during hurricane season. Florida new code hurricane shutters installed shutters on over 3,000 homes in South Florida over the past decade, from panels, accordion, roll down, or Bahama shutters. Florida new code hurricane shutters makes it easy for you to select the hurricane protection that your home needs. Call 954-868-4935 for your free home estimate. If you own a two-story home, you know how much trouble it is using a ladder to put up your shutters. You practically break your neck, or maybe actually do it. Florida New Code now offers a new steel panel system designed to be installed from the inside on second-floor windows with no need for ladders. They'll even give you a credit for your existing hurricane protection toward any new purchase, too. So call Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters today, and now is absolutely the time to do it. Call 954-868-4935. That's 954-868-4935. Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters, providing South Florida hurricane protection over the past decade.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
The butt.
On the next episode of The Shield, Geldie Geldstein stars as Mick Mackey.
I got nothing to say to you, Madam.
You're a bad man. A very bad man. I'm gonna burn your face on the stove here.
Tension mounts when Geldie faces off with Captain Mo.
Those pictures I saw of you doing the guy there?
Yeah, that's right. And I want to keep it under wraps, see?
Okay.
I don't want nobody knowing what went on there. Could mean my career.
Your secret is safe with me.
Good. I got out of here.
Hey, everybody. Captain Mo put the Mo in homo.
11:01 at 560 WQAM. Why is everybody picking on poor Geldie today, huh? What's wrong with them? Anyway, here's a fax from Jane who says, just wanted you to know that I went to Borders to see if I could find Spitting on the Axis of Evil. According to their records, the book, which was published in December 2003, is out of print. Well, guess what? I don't buy it. Because I just did buy it a couple of months ago right here at the world's largest bookstore in Toronto. If it's out of print, how could I have bought it, right? The only place I could find it, she says, was Amazon.com, the paperback version. Too bad that is, if it's as great as you say it is, it isn't more readily available, eh? Well, it is available on Amazon.com, so get with it, Jane, eh? Hop on it, grab it, get it. Everybody ought to be reading it. Anyway, this thing that you just faxed me, this is unacceptable. A new bill introduced in Congress last month wants to allow parents to take the law into their own hands every time children are exposed to material that they feel is objectionable for minors to see, hear, or read. As far as individual responsibility, forget about it, okay? The Parents Empowerment Act, introduced by Republican Congressman Duncan Hunter of California April 28th, would let minors or parents on their behalf sue producers of entertainment products that are deemed harmful to minors. So in other words, the parents have no responsibility. If the minors accidentally turn on Debbie Does Detroit, then we're going to sue somebody. We'll sue Debbie Boone.
I'm starting suing now.
Right. We'll sue the old Boone in the box. And by the way, who faxed you that stuff, Mark, our chronic faxer Mark? We don't care what Pat Boone says, okay? We care about the Boone in the box only because it's mildly amusing and very small. But other than that, nobody cares what Pat Boone has to say, okay? Jesus, God, Mark. Each and every day, millions of children access the Internet and other interactive entertainment products, said Congressman Hunter in a press release regarding the bill. As this number increases, more and more of our nation's children are unexpectedly and tragically exposed to pornography. Pornography!
Oh, my God.
Wow. Like most Americans, I firmly believe that those responsible for the current threat of obscene material and its ill effects should be punished for distributing such material to our children. And what are the ill effects of pornography, I would ask, and the answer is... Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Well, they're still working on that. And what is this other thing you just faxed? Is this of any interest whatsoever?
I don't know. You need to translate it.
Watch out. No, I don't have time for stuff that I have no time for that crap, okay? In other words, if it's something that we can't understand, don't waste our time with it, please, okay? I got a whole pile of really important stuff here, which I know most of you don't care about because most of you got the IQ of a fruit fly, but the rest of the people do care about.
So speaking of important stuff.
Yes?
For a good time, and it is a good time, call Ron. Crazy Ron.
Yeah.
Which I have been doing during the last break.
Oh, good.
We got his number.
Great.
Boy, you want it?
Sure, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
I mean, talk about somebody who desperately needs to interact.
Let's go.
954-430-3827.
Okay, Crazy Ron, the one that said, hi,
yeah.
The Prozac kid.
And that's how he answers the phone, too.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah.
He answers the phone, hi, like that?
954-430-3827. 3827, yeah.
Well, maybe you want to keep him entertained today. He'd love to hear from you, I'm sure. He's a little lonely over there, evidently, with him and his bottle of Prozac and his head between his cheeks. So maybe you want to get Ron on the horn, okay? And he'll say, hi!
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. What bothers you most about George W. Bush is our poll. And, of course, the audience should know that we already years ago went through a whole round of machinations with Ron. Hi! And all his Prozac problems, and thought that we had him like stuffed back in the bottle again, but just like Genie, every now and then, when you least expect it, he pops right out.
All he's got to do is...
just walk away.
Right, that's right, but he can't do it. 388 votes. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? We're going to get over 400 votes in the first hour on this poll. How do you like that? That's pretty impressive if you ask me, if you ask an old fart like me. And by the way, Castronova, if a 44-year-old guy can't relate to 18 and 20-year-olds, then how come you're stealing the material of a 61-year-old old fart like me, huh? That really makes me wonder, huh? Why would you steal the material from a crusty old fart like Neil Rogers when he's 110 years old? And you're trying to appeal to 18-year-olds. Come on, quit with the excuses, Ron, and whatever your name is, Paul. What is his name? They are so marginal, man, so freaking weak. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? He's a moron, 102. He's just a face man for neocon extremist, 99. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 81. Nothing. He's a great leader, 51. 13.1%. That's an unlucky number when the election comes around, by the way, 13.1. 13 point anything. And it's unlucky unless it's either Dan Marino or Matt Sundin. He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 41. He's divisive and diverse and perverse. He's divisive and hate-mongering, 14. John Kerry, that's going to require the president to genuinely reach out to our allies so the U.S. doesn't have to continue to go it alone to create the stability idea. Whatever he said. It was boring. John Kerry said something boring. Is that a bulletin? No. Now? I know we got a lot of great calls coming in. That's fine. But here's I'll intersperse the important crap. Oh, speaking of radio stuff, let's get the radio stuff taken care of first, okay?
Okay.
Two things.
We must.
Before I get to who let bin Ladens leave U.S., Bush refuses to answer the 9/11 Commission's queries. He wouldn't answer that question. Isn't that something?
Huh.
While Bill Clinton and Al Gore were stuck overseas and couldn't get a flight, the Bin Laden family on the 14th of September 2001, they were all being quietly escorted out of the USA. And we still don't know why, or who decided that, or who told the FBI, oh, leave them alone, don't ask no questions, things like that. See, if the people who are it's no wonder that the religious nuts are also the Bush people, the Republican extremists. There's no wonder. Because they're idiots. They just accept things on
what a coincidence.
No, listen to me. Whatever is told to them, don't confuse us with any facts. Whether it's the religious gobbledygook, they can't reason. They have no ability, no mental ability to reason things. In other words, to read a bunch of conflicting things and try to come to a conclusion of their own. Just brainwash me, please. Just keep brainwashing. Keep pouring that tapioca pudding on my brain and brainwash me, and then I'll be fine. So the old expression, don't confuse them with the facts, could not possibly be more appropriate than for these goofballs on the far right, the religious nuts. Let's see, here's Groundhog Z, whatever this is. It says, I'm a fan of yours and a fan of hip-hop. This week on South Beach, the Nazi-like police will be out in full riot gear. I'm begging you to please ask the police, since they're going to be kicking ass anyway, can they at least leave the local kids alone and arrest the New Yorkers that come down here for Hip-Hop Weekend? That's a good idea.
Right.
Arrest all the New Yorkers, okay? Make them put like a badge on their forehead. And I love New York sticker on their ass, right?
Right, or all the locals could wear something identifying, like a pink
saying, I'm not from New York.
Right, or a gold star on their lapel.
Or a pink triangle. What?
Does it have to be pink?
That's what I was told. I got when I was down there that week. I got the message in the mail. It said, Mr. Rogers, you're going to be required starting July 1st to be wearing a pink triangle on your forehead and on each cheek of your
rectum
ass.
Attention, men.
Right. That's the new deal. Anyway, can we get back to this? Hey, all you cops down there, leave the local kids alone, okay? Leave the local Schwarzers alone and take the New York kids and kick their ass. Yeah, everybody, if you're smart, just wear a T-shirt that says, I hate New York or something like that, and then they'll know. Then they will fear you. Clear Channel station sued for slander. This is some very good news. Anything bad that happens to Cheap Channel, it just makes a little, like a twitch in my ass. The Bozeman, you know Bozeman, Montana.
Sure do.
You been there?
Yep.
I'll be danged.
College town. The
Bozeman Daily Chronicle reports that a Bozeman woman has filed suit against Cheap Channel Communications alleging that announcers for Joe's Junkyard, the morning show on KISN-FM, Kissin' FM, slandered her 14-year-old daughter in February.
Oh, my God.
The lawsuit filed last week in Gallatin County District Court also names local radio station 96.7 Kissin' FM, which is owned by Clear Channel, as a defendant in the case. The complaint alleges that announcers called a minor girl derogatory and sexually explicit names after her name was spoken by a caller on the air, the Chronicle says. Here's what allegedly happened. Here's the story. On February 16, 2 days after Valentine's Day, the popular morning show encouraged listeners to call the station and complain about former girlfriends and boyfriends who had broken their hearts. In exchange, those who called would get to have Pooped, a variation of Cupid, deliver a bag of excrement to the heartbreaker's home. During the program, a girl apparently called the announcers, revealed that her boyfriend had cheated on her with another girl. The announcers asked the name of the girl and was said on the air according to court records. The lawsuit also alleges that the announcers referred to the girl as a slut, hooker, and whore during the course of the broadcast, the Chronicle reports. The girl's mother, who was listening to the show, went home to check on her daughter. Not long afterward, Pooped rang the doorbell. The mother promptly ordered Pooped off her property. Remember that song by Sam Cooke? Pooped, ring my bell. Remember that, Pooped?
Yeah, I did.
In a prepared statement, Dave Cowan, market manager of Kissin' FM, said the station sincerely apologizes for any discomfort that resulted from a caller's disclosure during our local morning show, Joe's Junkyard. He added that he looks forward to the correct facts being presented when the radio station and the owner filed a response in the suit. Along with slander, the lawsuit accuses the station of invasion of privacy, trespassing, and inflicting emotional distress. How do you like that? Distress or the blue dress? I'll take the blue one, thank you. It's worth a fortune. WRKO talk host pens Boston Globe indecency editorial. Talk radio WRKO Boston host Scott Allen Miller. You go, Scott. Wrote an interesting editorial for the Boston Globe calling on the FCC to institute clear-cut, detailed guidelines for what it considers indecency in broadcasting. Miller says that without a specific rule book, radio and TV stations are marred with confusion, caution, and uncertainty, and he is
absolutely correct, sir.
The FCC's crackdown is against all broadcasters, not just a few famous shock jocks, writes Miller. The vast majority of us would obey the FCC guidelines if we only knew what they were. With only a few contradictory FCC precedents but no official rules to go by, responsible radio station programmers have to guess about what is merely risque and what is truly risky. Meanwhile, careers in radio stations themselves hang in the balance. Miller also points out that the war on indecency is mostly being levied by the FCC and not by the American public. Of the estimated 9 million viewers who witnessed Janet Jackson's judgment malfunction last February at the Super Bowl, about 530,000 people, less than 1% of the audience, complained to the FCC. On the other hand, increased viewership of satellite and cable TV, whose content is largely unregulated by the FCC, proves that most Americans are not pining for the days when only wholesome programming was on the idiot box, he said. To read the complete editorial, BostonGlobe.com. Nice going, Scott. You go, boy. Yeah, most people aren't all that excited about seeing Ozzy and Harriet anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, why not?
And Father knows best. 11:13 at 560 WQM. Speaking of what's on the idiot box, Boom is TV, but not just regular TV. It's high-definition TV delivered via satellite dish and HD receiver. The picture is so superior to regular TV, you won't believe it. The quality is like comparing the latest DVD to the first kinescope we ever saw on your set. Boom is the only, like the test pattern. Voom is the only entertainment system designed for high-definition TV. Voom is the most HD TV anywheres and provides all the equipment necessary to enjoy the ultimate HD TV experience, including your satellite dish, HD receiver, and a remote as well, of course. And Voom has got over 30 channels
About 30, man.
of HD programming. You can watch ESPN in high definition as well. That's 3 times more than you get from cable, and they've got all your other favorite channels, too, like HBO, MTV, even your local yokel channels, too. Voom's got over 120 channels of great entertainment for you to enjoy. Voom even has exclusive channels of HD movies, music, and sports that you can't even get from your cable or satellite company. So with Voom, you get all the stuff you got now, plus all these awesome new high-definition channels you can't get no place else. For their limited-time offer, call Voom today at 1-866-848-8666 or check them online at Voom.com. This includes free installation, no upfront cost, and no long-term commitment. But you better do it right away because the offer ends May 31, which by my figuring is only 6 days away. Call them today, 1-866-848-8666 or online it's Voom.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
You can listen to me, would have been a big star by now. With that little thick, squeak voice, how do you expect to get anywhere, you little beauty puke? We say puke?
I think it's
I don't even know anymore.
The more I hear you,
Yeah, what about it?
the more I hate you.
What do I care?
And when I'm near you, I wanna die. Your pecorino, toenail cheese aroma puts me in a coma and points my eye.
Why, I oughta smack you. There, see? I know my smell attracts you. But unlike Zach, you still got a job. I feel just like that you are my kid brother. And one yiddy to another. That's why you're still not fired. Doi, 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 doi. Doi, 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 doi. Doi, 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 doi. Our morning show can put you in a coma.
Absolutely.
Can't wait till it's over. All right, that's enough.
Doi, 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 doi.
11:19. I'm just thinking about that Barry Jackass column this morning that had Geldie ruffle his feather a little bit. Yeah. Now, you know who must have put that in there, because who plants everything in Barry's column? Who tells him what to print?
You?
I'll give you one clue, boys and girls, okay? The answer is... Oh, wait a minute. That's a good thing I looked at it.
Greg?
Yeah. Greg Reed must have planted that. So that's just another way of taking a shot at you, Mo. That's what he's doing. You, Mo?
No, you?
Who let bin Laden's leave U.S.? Bush refuses to answer 9/11 Commission's queries. The Bush administration has refused to answer repeated requests from the 9/11 Commission about who authorized flights of Saudi Arabian citizens, including members of Osama bin Laden's family, from the U.S. immediately after the attacks in 2001. See, if we can't even get an answer to this, then what's the point of all the other crap? You know what I'm saying?
Shut up.
This goes right back to the very beginning. This goes back to right in the aftermath of 9/11, of that grotesquerie that occurred on 9/11 when a bunch of Saudis attacked the U.S., when a bunch of the Bush family's friends attacked the U.S. Former Representative Lee Hamilton, Vice Chairman of the Independent Bipartisan Commission, disclosed the administration's refusal to answer questions on the sensitive subject during a recent closed-door meeting with a group of Democratic senators, according to several Democratic sources. However, former Navy Secretary John Lehman, a Republican appointee who also attended the meeting, said in an email to the Hill that he told senators the White House has been fully cooperative. In other words, he lied. Democrats suspect President Bush, who met privately with the Saudi Arabian ambassador Prince Bandar bin Sultan bin Abdulaziz, a.k.a. Bandar Bush, on the morning of September 13, 2001, may have personally authorized the controversial flights, several of which took place when all other U.S. commercial air travel had been halted. The White House Communications Office did not return a request for comment. If Bush or members of his inner circle are shown to have approved the flight of the prominent Saudi Arabian citizens, it could be damaging to Bush, who has staked his re-election campaign in large measure to his carefully built image as the steady leader of the war against terrorism. Senator Barbara Boxer said she asked Hamilton and Lehman if they were able to find out who in the administration authorized those Saudi Arabian flights. Who did this? Why would the Saudis want to get out of the country? They said those questions have been part of their inquiry and they haven't received satisfactory answers yet, and they were pushing, Boxer said. Another Democrat in the meeting who confirmed Boxer's account reported that Hamilton said, "We don't know who authorized it. We've asked that question 50 times, and they won't answer it." Boxer said she obtained a commitment from Hamilton that the commission will state in its final report if the White House refused to answer questions about who authorized the Saudi flights after the 2001 attacks. Last month, the 9/11 Commission released a statement declaring that 6 chartered flights that rushed the Saudi citizens out of the country were handled properly by the Bush administration. In a recent interview on NBC's Meet the Press, Prince Bandar said he did not discuss with Bush the need to evacuate Saudi citizens from the U.S. after 9/11. He said he asked the FBI for permission. However, John Iannarelli, the FBI spokesman on counterterrorism activities, has denied that the FBI had any role in facilitating these flights one way or another. Somebody's lying over here. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's lying over here.
No. They wouldn't.
Bill Harvey, a member of the Family Steering Committee, which represents the families of 9/11 attacks, said the lack of the White House cooperation on identifying who authorized the Saudi flights fit into a pattern. Pressure from the Family Steering Committee was one of the several factors that prompted the White House to agree to the creation of the 9/11 Commission in the first place. "I stopped being surprised about this a long time ago," said Harvey, whose wife died in the attack. "They have not been cooperative. There's cooperation and then there's cooperation. Are they doing these things under possible threat of subpoena? Yes. Are they actively fulfilling the spirit of the Commission's request? No." The White House was opposed to the formation of this commission in the first place, Harvey said. They did everything to neuter it. Earlier this spring, when we tried to get more time for the commission to complete its report, the White House was an obstacle. On the afternoon of September, now I want you to listen very, very carefully, those of you who've got any ability to think whatsoever, who aren't a bunch of brainwashed religionists waiting for Armageddon to come, waiting for the rapture. I think there's a better chance we're going to have a rupture before a rapture, if you ask me. I could be wrong. You know what a cynical bastard I am.
Yeah.
Right? I think there's going to be a rupture before there any rapture. You religious crazy people, you crazy bastards. The White House was opposed to the formation of this commission. I already read that. Here's the important part. Got it?
All right.
On the afternoon of September 13th, 2001, 3 Saudi men in their early 20s flew in a Learjet from Tampa to Lexington, Kentucky, where they boarded a Boeing 747 with Arabic writing on it, waiting to take them out of the country. The flight from Tampa to Lexington was first reported in the Tribune on October 2001. Earlier that day, the FAA had issued a notice that private aviation was banned and that 3 private planes that had violated the ban had been forced to land by military aircraft, according to an article last year in Vanity Fair. The flight from Tampa to Lexington was one of several flights that Saudi Arabian citizens took in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, when the rest of the country was prohibited from flying. Many of the Saudis were members of the Saudi royal family or the bin Laden family. The New York Times has reported that bin Laden family members were driven or flown under FBI supervision to a secret meeting in Texas and then to Washington, where they left the country when airports were allowed to open September 14, 2001. Overall, close to 140 Saudis left the U.S. days after the attacks, even though 15 of the 19 terrorists who carried out the 9/11 attacks were Saudi Arabian themselves. By contrast, prominent Americans such as former President Bill Clinton and former Vice President Al Gore were stranded overseas during the crisis because of the freeze on air travel. Craig Unger wrote in his 2004 book, House of Bush, House of Saud, which I'm going to start reading today. That's in my pile. I haven't gotten to that one yet. I'm going to start reading it today just because I'm so pissed off and fired up about this. And so should the public be, but the public is like that as usual, and the Democrats are like that, making a little bit of noise. That's about it. Spineless, gutless jellyfish who are allowing this carnage, this insanity, this slaughter to go on that jeopardize. You know, that article about the 18,000 Al-Qaeda, weren't they telling us many, many months ago before the Iraq attack about, Al-Qaeda has had its head chopped off and they can't do this and their funding has been stopped, all this other bullcrap. Well, if they would have kept going with that and spent just a fraction of the 100 billion and many, many more billions they're going to flush down the toilet in Iraq, maybe we wouldn't have no more Al-Qaeda. How do you like that? Maybe we'd have Osama Yamama. Maybe we'd have al-Assad or whatever his name is.
Al-Qaeda don't have no oil.
And al-Zarqawi, dead or alive, with or without his leg. Who's probably dead, by the way. Yeah, that was another one of those things. Well, just mixed signals there. CNN comes on here and says that their experts, which I think probably was Soledad O'Brien, their experts decided that it wasn't al-Zarqawi's voice on that decapitation tape that you watched yesterday, the Nick Berg thing. It wasn't him. And then all of a sudden later in the afternoon, the CIA said, that was him. I mean, if Don Imus can talk, why can't another dead man talk, right? There you go. Just like those people in that Abu Ghraib prison. 27 past 11 at 560 WQM. When you shop for quality footwear, one name should pop into your mind immediately. Brandy Shoes in Pompano Beach, because they've got an unbeatable deal. They got great selection, unbeatable prices, and of course professional service. The people at Brandy's know your feet inside and out. In fact, they can probably recognize you just by the smell of your feet. At Brandy's Shoes, you'll find the biggest selection of men's and women's shoes in the universe, the best prices as well. At Brandy's, they got all the names in the shoe business that you know and love and covet, like Rockport, Florsheim, SAS, Sperry, Timberland, Naturalizer, and all the others too. And with Brandy's humongous selection, I'll bet Greg reads life on it right now, and I'll throw in clearance as well, that whatever style you're looking for in your size, it's on the shelf waiting to slap on your foot right now. In fact, most of Brandy's customers keep coming back and usually buy several pair on each visit. Brandy's is open daily 9 till 9, Monday through Saturday, Sundays 10 till 5, and you'll find them at 1290 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. It's always worth the trip because they save you so much cash and they've got exactly what you're looking for. All this week at Brandy's, take 20% off on all famous brands, men's and women's boat shoes. Come in to the store or visit them online at brandyshoes.com.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Move over, Passion Cafe, Hard Rock Cafe, and Harley Davidson Cafe. There's a new overpriced theme restaurant in town. It's the News Cafe, where all your favorite news anchors are serving up dishes as hot as today's headlines.
This is Tom Brokaw, and I'll be your server this evening. Today's specials are chicken all Larry King and salmon Donaldson.
At the News Cafe, TV's most trusted reporters read your dinner order off a teleprompter.
I'm your waitress, Barbara Walters. This just in, we're all out of Wolf Winces, but sources are recommending the Katie Couric quiche.
Yeah, sure, but make it snappy. I'm in a hurry.
Okay, but first, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
And the kitchen is always open late at the News Cafe.
I'm Ted Koppel, and this is the night menu.
If you're hungry for hard news and great food, then tune in to the News Cafe.
I'm Dan Rather, and if you don't visit the News Cafe, I'll be as mad as a rain-dawn rooster. Call for reservations. The seating is tight like a too small bathing suit on a too long ride home from the beach. I tell you, this place is hotter than a New York.
11:32, 28 till noon at 560 WQM. Back to kind of a more normal schedule today, other than the fact Little Dog was on vacation, so we had Mo in the in the morning, and Geldie 8 to 10, touting his own, patting himself on the back. Boy, talk about embarrassing.
I'm going to do the Panther games. I'm doing the Panther games. Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to take over the Dolphin job. I'm going to take over Mo's job at the Dolphin games. Then I'm going to do baseball. I'm taking over from Dave Van Boring. I'm going to be all things to all people. I'm going to be big. I'm going to be a star. That's Squeaky Geldie.
But I want to do those games, you know. That's the reason I'm picking on Geldie, is because I'm jealous.
Right. Pine.
I mean, you can see me coming back and staying the whole winter in South Florida and traveling around doing the hockey games, can't you?
Doing the games and the show at the same time.
Sure. Madrid, this reminds me, it's like Desi Lou all over again. Remember our person of interest, whose name escapes me at the moment, but I'm sure you'll remember the anthrax investigation?
Right.
Stephen Hatfield, it just came
Very
back.
good.
How do you like that? What a miracle. That was back during the investigation. And John Ashcroft and the Justice Department said, we have a person of interest We're not charging him with any. And then, of course, they got him fired from his job at LSU, and they destroyed his life, and now he's suing Ashcroft and the federal government. I hope he wins millions. Hope he wins billions.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this. Have they caught whoever did the anthrax stuff? No. Well, it's one of them things. Madrid bombings case thrown out against Oregon attorney. Just another one of those cases of a mistaken identity. With a Muslim, of course. A federal court yesterday threw out the case against an American lawyer once linked to the Madrid train bombings, and the FBI expressed regret. We apologize for a fingerprint identification error that led to his arrest. Now, first of all, it's got his picture here. He don't look like no schmott head to me. Brandon Mayfield. I think Curtis Mayfield done it. Don't you? Yeah. I think they ought to pick up his ass. The court's action lifts a cloud of suspicion that has surrounded attorney Brandon Mayfield since his arrest May 6th. The 37-year-old convert to Islam sharply criticized the government after the announcement, calling his time behind bars humiliating and embarrassing, and saying he was targeted because of his faith. And, of course, we know that he is
absolutely correct, sir.
I am a Muslim, an American, and an ex-officer of the U.S. military, he said at a news conference. I believe I was singled out and discriminated against, I feel, as a Muslim. And, of course, we know what kind of a gutter religion that is based on all these born-again nutcase theologists out there, don't we?
Right.
Well, Muslim is, it's pathetic. FBI, and of course that's what religion does best. It breeds hate, contempt, intolerance. That's what it's all about. And with very important things going on in the world, like the planet keeps spinning around and all this other crap, let's have an amendment against gay marriages. Oh! Yeah, that's really important stuff. FBI officials speaking on condition of anonymity had said that Mayfield's fingerprint matched one found on a bag of detonators near the train station in Madrid in the March 11th bombing, which killed 191 people, injured 2,000 others. But last week, Spanish authorities said the fingerprints of an Algerian man were on the bag, not Curtis Mayfield. Robert Jordan, the FBI agent in charge of Oregon, said the agency regretted any hardship caused by the arrest and said the Bureau would review its practices on fingerprint analyzations. Oh, how do you like that? They made a mistake. And, of course, when this government admits they make a mistake, boy, it's a cold day in Saudi Arabia. Jordan said the FBI's initial determination about Mayfield's fingerprint was based on an image of substandard quality. In other words, it was like a smeared little, that must be him. Substandard quality. I bet you they had better fingerprints of OJ on Ron and Nicole's neck. What? You know I'm right.
Yeah.
Oh, but that DNA, you know who really belongs behind death row is that little Shrek guy. Ron, what was his name? Barry Shrek. Rhymes with Drek. Ever see him together with Todd Drek?
No.
Same person. And by the way, I just want to, I know this has nothing to do, and I'm interrupting myself, which I have a bad habit of doing that, but it's one of those things when you get to be old and feeble, when the thought enters your mind, when in doubt, you better blurt it out. I'll get back to this thing in a minute. But I want to just pass this along to Screw Ann Winnick, okay? That's the last time ever that I'm doing anything for you, okay, bitch? You smelly, nasty, obnoxious bitch. She comes to me Friday. I'm trying to get the hell out of there because I'm leaving and I'm just anxious to be out of the building and out of that town. And, Pap, would you please? Oh, okay. Gives me a big hug. Oh, God. I had to run to the shower.
Really? You hugged?
Yeah, each other? We hugged. I was holding up the finger behind her head, but that's beside the point. That's how grateful she was that I was willing to go along because she didn't want to lose any money. And in the meantime, did she get Todd Drek to do his job?
No.
Will she get him to do his job? No. It's a loss.
Did you grind it all?
What? It's a loss. Did he bring you that copy? I don't want to be speaking out of turn. Did he bring you that copy that we need desperately?
No.
Did Clarence get on top of this? Since Duff is out getting his hole examined today, did Clarence get on top of this and get it done?
You are not alone, guys.
Yeah, I want to be. Especially where you're concerned, okay, Miss Muff? Yeah, he's eating his curds and whey. Mayfield, a former Army lieutenant, was released from custody last week after the fingerprint announcement by Spanish authorities, but he was not altogether clear to suspicion at the time. The government said he remained a material witness and put restrictions on his movements. Those restrictions were lifted yesterday when they had egg on their puss. They said, oh, sorry, our mistake, our bad. One of the documents that's going to be unsealed, an affidavit filed by FBI Special Agent Richard K. Wardner in support of the material witness arrest warrant, sheds some light on the case. After a fingerprint analysis of the detonator bag, Wardner said he was advised the FBI lab stands by their conclusion of a 100% positive identification. Right. The affidavit also notes that Mayfield's wife, Mona, was born in Egypt. Oh, that proves it.
Uh-huh.
And then Mayfield represented Jeffrey Leon Battle in a child custody case. Battle later was among a group of Portland men who pleaded guilty to conspiring to help al-Qaeda and the Taliban fight U.S. forces in Afghanistan. The document also notes one phone call between Mona Mayfield and Pete Sida, also known as Peruz Sergati, director of the U.S. Office of Al-Harmein Islamic Foundation in Ashland. The Bush administration designated the foundation as a terrorist organization. Stephen Wax, the public defender who represented Mayfield, said Mayfield may sue the government. Good, you go, boy. I hope you get billions, too. Lawyers for Mayfield also said they would call for an investigation into leaks to the media in the case, as well as a probe into FBI actions and how the fingerprint could have been misidentified. A gag order had been placed in the case. Mayfield's mother says the family wants an apology from the U.S. government. They want an apology. How do you like that? 567-0560, pound 560. Your government in action again, baby. I wonder what gay Edgar Hoover would think of that. What bothers you the most about George W. Bush? That's our poll question today on NeilRogers.com. And along with, what's her name, Lara Flynn Boyle, it's getting plenty of attention today. They're taking a puke at Lara, whatever her name is, and they're taking a puke on our poll. 524 votes. He's just a face man for neocon extremists, 142, which is absolutely, positively, beyond the shadow of a doubt correct. He's a moron, 131, which is absolutely inarguable. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 112, which there is no question of that. Nothing, he's a great leader, 70, which all we can say to that is he's a crook, he stole the 2000 election, 51. He's divisive and hate-mongering, 18. So it ain't looking too good. But he's got, what has he got? 13.3% in this audience, in this liberal, realistic, heathen, whatever we got out there, right?
Right. Masacrista.
Right, those people. 20 till noon at QA, Mad Dog coming up at 2. You know, summertime in South Florida guarantees 3 things. You can bet Greg's life on it. Heat, humidity, and hurricanes. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you protect your home during hurricane season. Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters installed shutters on over 3,000 homes in South Florida over the past decade. From panels, accordion, roll-down, or Bahama shutters, Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters makes it easy for you to select the hurricane protection your home needs. Call 954-868-4935 for your free home estimate. If you own a 2-story home, you know what a pain in the ass it is using a ladder to put up your shutters? Well, Florida New Code now offers you a new steel panel system designed to be installed from the inside on your second-floor windows, so you don't need that ladder. You don't have to risk breaking your neck. They'll even give you credit for your existing hurricane protection toward any new purchase, too. So call Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters today at 954-868-4935. That's 954-868-4935. Florida New Code Hurricane Shutters. They've been providing South Florida hurricane protection for the past decade.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Do you have a heart or a liver?
No.
Oh!
Let's abuse some more prisoners. Make them scream nice and loud. Get me some wires and a battery pack. I don't care if they ain't from Iraq. Should be used to the torture. 'Cause we're just playing their game. In the past, it had to be worse with Saddam Hussein.
11:45, 15 till noon at 560 WGAM. Mad Dog at 2, the Humper at 4. We got 551 votes on the Bushmaster. He's got exactly 13% say nothing bothers them about Bush. They think he's great. He's a great leader. 13%. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Unlucky at election time, although the latest CNN poll just out a little while ago. Kerry 49, Bush 47. They don't mention Nader at all.
No, good.
Yeah. Although I will say this, because Nader now, in some of these other polls, he's been getting like 6 or 7% nationally. Because he's becoming the anti-war candidate. The people that are most vehemently against the war are going to him because Kerry has been so namby-pamby, wishy-washy, Nelly, smelly, whatever he's been on this Iraq thing. And, of course, voted for the resolution in the first place. What are we going to do about John Kerry? How about some oxygen? Couldn't hurt.
Yeah, maybe
He's starting.
electric
They
shock.
showed him on his campaign plane a while ago, giving the thumbs up and the high sign. He looked like a dead man in a suit. Ever see him and Don Imus together?
No.
And you'll notice that Imus is for Kerry.
Yeah.
Imus is usually to the right of Attila the Hun. He's pulling for Kerry now. I think it's the same person, if you ask me. No, on elevator shoes. I really believe it. He's wearing, lifters. Boy, he is. Somebody has got to butch him up a little bit. I still say I would love to have Howard Dean back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right now. Let's go get him.
Come on, one little scream, Howard. There you go. Do it. Do it for mankind. Jesus, God, he was like a live wire.
Right. On fire.
Till he marched out that meest-looking wife of his, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket. We had so many calls about the president's speech. Now, before I read this, though, line 9 probably is about that. QAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
About your poll. Could you combine a couple of...
No, we can't. It's already done. But the poll is closed, okay? No more, seriously, you folks really need some very serious help. It's not me, it's not George, it's not this show, it's not even Greg, okay? It's South Florida. It is just the most unbelievable intellectual wasteland. No, we've talked about this for a couple of years now, and it's been, basically we've given them a crutch, which is easy for us, because when you do want to, what's the best movie of all time? What's your favorite actor? What's your favorite dog food? And the phones just ring off the hook, and it's like a 1 or 2 word answer, and that's the level, the capacity. Otherwise, it's the usual idiots. And that's it. There's almost nothing in between. That's the ability of South Florida to communicate on anything other than, of course, sports. And the sports calls are no better.
No.
Believe you me. Well, don't you think of that Heat kid? They're still talking about the damn Game 6 with the Heat in Indiana. They're still screaming about that. Rather than saying, boy, didn't they really pull it out of their ass and give us some excitement in this godforsaken place? No, it's and they're still bellyaching about that. And they should have done this and they should have done that. We got a new coach for the Panthers, a new general manager, a new broadcaster, such as he is. And is anybody talking about that? No. No, just the usual silly little jokes about Geldie. And what a simpering little suckhole he is. I mean, what kind of crap is that? Right?
Yeah, that's it.
How about something with some meat on it, like a bone? How about something meaty? How about something with some substance to it, okay? Like Ernest Ainsley would say, or isn't he the one who goes, substance, no, that's Benny Hinn.
Right.
Not the same crap, different hairdo. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
A couple things. This thing with this attorney in Oregon.
Yeah.
This really illustrates, this guy is lucky that this didn't happen like a year and a half ago when they thought that they could just permanently detain people without any review.
What do you mean they thought?
What do you mean a year and a half ago?
Well, that's when those two
What do you think they're doing now?
Well, no, I'm talking in the U.S. citizens. Padilla and... well, no, let me finish.
Oh, boy, you're living in a dream world, man.
Well, they get their ass kicked in the Supreme Court on that. But,
yeah.
But in any event...
Yeah, that's what... I was talking to Tony Scalia last night. He told me, boy, we're going to really let him have it on that. After Cheney and I go fishing again. Get in the real world, pal, okay? Get in the real world. Start to understand what's really going on here.
These guys are American
He
citizens.
hasn't read Patriot Act 3, 4, and 5 yet, this guy. In fact, if there's a knock at your door after that call, it's a good thing I disconnected you, sir, because if you'd been on another 30 seconds, they'd have been knocking on your door, dragging your ass away. Never see you no mo. Wow. When are they going to wake up and smell it? WQAM, hello.
Hey, I want to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, sir.
I like when you read those bedtime stories.
Good, but you better get used to it because you're going to hear a lot of them this year.
Hey, when are you going to retire?
When I'm good and ready.
All right, retire, fag.
Okay, retire, fag. Ah!
He got you.
Like I said, there you go. Thanks for listening, by the way, to the highly rated Neil Rogers Show, which once it goes off the air, Georgia was saying this morning, and you're absolutely correct, that the day that I do retire, which isn't really that far away when you come right down to it, taking away summers and vacations or whatever, I think it's about 5 minutes. These people are going to be wandering around in the streets like a bunch of lost, like the land of the lost.
The Walking Dead, like a zombie.
Like a bunch of, like the zombies, if I can say that. They're going to be just wandering around aimlessly in the streets like zombies. What do we do now? But that's okay. The price of the show is right. Nice going, by the way, Screw Ann, you crazy, pathetic bitch. WQAM, hello.
French fries are
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes,
They're
sir.
coming. How you doing?
Okay.
They're coming to take me away. They're not there.
WQAM, hello. Not there. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, retire, asshole.
WQAM, hello.
Now, what a shame. Okay, in fact, I'm so used to the old days that it took me like a second or two. I bet I was last on that one, you know?
Maybe. It took me a second. It's like, oh yeah, we can.
Yeah, see, they lull you into a false sense of security, and all of a sudden, like, you know. At any rate. 11:51 at QM. The President's speech. Here's the editorial from the New York Times. And, of course, if you listen to these calls that we get on the show, you do understand why America's in the shape that it's in. See, Bill Cosby's screaming and bitching about the education that black people are getting in the way that they speak. They're not alone, believe me. You can't complain about education in America the last, I would say 20 years, because there basically isn't any. Americans have no idea what's going on in the world. In fact, if you put an Uzi to the head of most Americans, if you went out to a shopping mall and stuck any kind of a weapon to their head and said, okay, here's a map of the world, point out Iraq, they couldn't do it.
No.
For all the money in the universe and for a bullet in the head, they couldn't find Iraq on a map with both your hands. Pretty sad. New York Times on the president's speech editorializes today. Of course, that's that commie pinko liberal New York Times that puts all those pictures of dead Palestinian babies on the front page, much to the consternation of one of my South Florida amigos. Too bad. The president's speech. If President Bush had been talking a year ago after the fall of Baghdad, his speech at the Army War College last night might have sounded like a plan for moving forward. He was able to point to a new United Nations resolution being developed in consultation with American allies, not imposed in defiance of them, and to a timetable for moving Iraq toward elected self-government. He talked in general terms of expanding international involvement and stabilizing Iraq, but Mr. Bush was not starting fresh. He spoke after nearly 14 months of policy failures, none of them acknowledged by the president, which have left Iraq increasingly violent and drained Washington's credibility with the Iraqi people and the international community. They've been waiting for Mr. Bush to make a clean break with those policies. He did not do that last night. The speech reflected the fact that Mr. Bush has been backtracking lately, but he didn't even come close to charting a new course he needs to take. His 5 steps toward Iraqi independence were merely a recitation of the tasks ahead. Mr. Bush plans a series of addresses on Iraq before June 30th.
About 30, man.
It was impossible not to wonder last night why he had waited until the security situation in Iraq had become disastrous, until Americans had begun losing faith in his leadership, and indeed until just 37 days before a crucial new phase begins the transition to Iraqi sovereignty. It's regrettable that this president is never going to admit any shortcomings, much less failure. That's an aspect of Mr. Bush's character that we have to live with. But we cannot live with a serious plan for doing more than just getting through the June 30th transition.
About 30, man.
And then muddling along until the November elections in the United States. Mr. Bush has yet to come up with a realistic way to internationalize the military operation and to get Iraq's political groups beyond their current game of jockeying for power and into a real process of drafting a workable constitution. The draft of the UN resolution that circulated yesterday was disappointingly sketchy on these points. It contains the phrases of international support, like references to a multinational military force, without committing the Security Council to do anything in particular. The draft endorses a continued American-led military presence in Iraq for at least a year beyond June 30.
About 30, man.
But it does not ensure expanded international participation. The resolution envisions that after the UN names the interim government leaders, it will proceed cautiously and only when it deems it safe to do so. There are ways Mr. Bush can achieve a clean break that is so essential. A good start, first put forward by the Center for American Progress in Washington, is to go much further in internationalizing the next phase of the Iraq operation. Mr. Bush should convene a summit meeting to create a multinational group to oversee the transition. The UN Security Council could step up its participation by appointing an international high representative who would actively supervise the interim Iraqi government until the first round of elections. Senator John Kerry, the presumptive Democratic nominee, has proposed restructuring the military force in Iraq under NATO with an American commander. Mr. Bush should pursue that at the NATO summit meeting next month. The president still has a number of speeches left to deliver before June 30.
About 30, man.
We hope he will use them to come up with a more specific plan, to stop listing the things we already know needed to be done, and to explain to us how he intends to do them. An acknowledgement of past mistakes would be nice. But obviously don't hold your breath. No, we don't make no mistakes, okay? We don't screw up, we don't make no mistakes, etc. and so on.
It's just you liberal commies saying
That's it. It's called a right-wing hard ass is what it's called. They don't make mistakes. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? Poll question today, NeilRogers.com. 590 votes, staggering. How many people are in town right now?
About 30, man.
That's it, which is amazing how there were 41,000 people almost at the Marlins Diamondbacks game on Sunday. How is that possible, Josh?
Well, you know.
It was a major event.
It was.
I know, it's another hype job. You know, Randy Johnson, Dontrell Willis, Randy Johnson just got through pitching a perfect game at the age of 75, and it was a big deal, you know.
But they had some good giveaways at the stadium, too.
Were there giveaways?
Yeah, you got to give away something, to get the people out.
Well, what did they give away?
A Miguel Cabrera jersey.
Oh, no. You've got to be kidding me. So that's why they had 41,000. And yesterday, were they giving anything away yesterday?
No.
No. Nope. 10,000 in the box score, which means maybe 7,000 people in the stands.
They were all happy, though. They all got free donuts.
Oh, they did get free donuts, too, and they should announce that more. Probably gotten 15,000, 20,000. What bothers you most about George W.? He's just and by the way, Josh, has Eric contacted you yet about those bedtime stories? You know, the idea that you're paying for that DSL and we're not making you any money on that thing, get you doing some work, is pretty disturbing to me, Eric. He's just a face man for neocon extremist, 164. He's a moron, 150. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 127. Nothing. He's a great leader, 75, 12.7%. He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, which is obvious, 56, 9.4%. And he's divisive and hate-mongering, 18, out of almost 600 votes. 595. Watch out on 595. Hey, spring into savings, speaking of driving, let's save like never before on a new car or truck from Armstrong Toyota of Homestead. Is Fat Boy back from Buffalo?
I haven't seen him.
Well, when in doubt, go out and grab him and tell him he's another one.
Grab him.
Grab well as much of him as you can. Grab the walker and watch him plop on the floor. I'd love to see that. You'll find him on US 1, 20 minutes south of the 836. That's Armstrong Toyota of Homestead, not Fat Boy. And it's worth a drive there to save yourself thousands on great new Toyotas. The great lease deals that are waiting for you right now include an 04 Camry or 4Runner. You pay just $269 a month for 48 months. How about an 04 Highlander, just $309 a month? Need a truck? How about an 04 Toyota Tundra, the safest truck in the US of A, just $179 a month for 48 months? These are just some of the great savings waiting for you right now at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead. They're committed to 100% customer satisfaction. In fact, their service department's even open late till 8 weeknights to make sure they get all your stuff done for you. Easy to find them. They're right on the corner of US 1 and 293rd Street in Homestead, just 20 minutes south of the 836. And right now they're making you an offer you have to be crazy to refuse. Armstrong Toyota of Homestead offers you free tires, free batteries, and replacement parts for life of your vehicle. That's right, tires, batteries, and free parts for life. Nobody else nowheres do that. So don't waste your time at those mega dealers who have those big screaming car commercials, jump up and down, hop and make a lot of noise, and then get you into their dealerships under phony pretense. Call our friend David Rich, the GM at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead, for a real for deal, unbelievable deal. Call 305-242-3247. 305-242-3247. Drive a little and save thousands on that great new Toyota today at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Well, it be the 12 to 1 hour on WQAM.
Well, I never thought I'd find the kind of ride that I've been tooling around in today. Now it's a classic set of wheels fixed up the way a brother would like it. Now with the clean and shiny and the trim is gold anodized under my seat, I got a can of liquid cherry, yo. Aw, baby. Coconut, granada, cherry, chariot, me, baby blue. Aw, baby. Shiny little velvet, little smelly machine. Took the suspension out, so I bounced down the road in a Pimp Daddy Superfly. Now if they hard to stop, no big deal. Someday I'll get around to fixing the brakes. A 1979 Bonbon Catalina. She sure looking fine. Now it's my baby Cadillac. Aw, baby. Coconut, granada, cherry, chariot, me, baby blue. Aw, baby. Shiny little velvet, little smelly machine. Yo. I got my windows down on a hot summer day, 'cause the AC don't work no way. The sweaty crush all seat starts to smell and gets the dusty working overtime. Now on my back seat you'll find the shiny ground that smell like lilacs. My carpet shiny too, 'cause I've been washing it with Armor All. Aw, baby. Coconut, granada, cherry, baby blue. Aw, baby. Microscopic wheels rolling over speed bumps ain't too smooth. Aw, baby. Brush my law interior, be fancy to me, baby blue. Aw, baby. Hey.
So the early report on Muff's exam today, he had his yearly total body exam from top of the head to the bottom of the feet.
Yeah.
Doctor was shocked because his
rectum
smelled like lilacs, just like in that bit we got. Yeah. Kind of strange.
You are not alone, guys.
12:04 at 560 WQAM. Vermont, you're going to love this story. You're going to love it and hate it.
All right.
Vermont put on list of most endangered places. A preservation group put Vermont on its list of America's most endangered places yesterday, warning that this New England state's small-town charm is threatened by...
Walmart.
There you go. How'd you know that?
Psychic.
Did you see this story?
No, they're threatening every place that's nice.
Oh, brother. Vermont is the only state ever to make the National Trust for Historic Preservation's annual list in its entirety. The state has got 4 Walmarts, all small by Walmart standards, and Vermont preservationists say the company is planning to enlarge 2 of them and open 5 new ones.
Oh, my God.
Walmart said it has firm plans only for 1 new store in St. Albans. Trust President Richard Moe. That's his name, M-O-E, Moe.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
You, Moe?
Trust President Richard Moe said Vermont's special magic would vanish with the arrival of the giant stores. Vermont is a uniquely a state of small towns. Many of these downtowns will be decimated by this, Moe said. A lot of small businesses just disappear in the face of a huge Walmart. It's like a big, gigantic serpent, man, reaching out with its tentacles and testicles and crushing everything in its path. Walmart, the evildoers, man. Mia Maston, Walmart Community Affairs Manager for the Eastern region, suggested such fears are being over-dramatized. The company's plans will provide Vermonters with more jobs and convenient shopping, she said. It sounds as if we're trying to go and push our way in, Maston said, but we're asking for and getting local input. We want a project that everyone likes at the end of the day. Right. And if that isn't enough to really scare the crap out of you as far as the Walmart haters are concerned, Walmart wants stores throughout Europe.
Oh, my God.
Walmart wants stores in every country in Europe and will consider opening its own outlets as well as making large acquisitions, according to the retail giant's chief executive. What did I tell you? They're like a disease engulfing the globe. During his first trip to Brussels, Lee Scott said Walmart would consider expanding in Europe via Asda, the British supermarket chain it bought for £6.7 billion almost 5 years ago. Mr. Scott refused to be drawn on countries Walmart might enter or companies it might buy, but said he couldn't think of any country in Europe that we wouldn't want to be in over the long course of time. He added, if you get an attractive deal in Europe at some point, that would be an opportunity. I can't see Walmart in Holland.
They have vase.
No, I can't even imagine Walmart in Amsterdam. It just is so incomprehensible to me. It just ain't their kind of store. Unless they sold fries with mayonnaise. It's a significant shift in emphasis for the world's largest retailer, which many analysts have accused of a half-hearted approach to international expansion. Walmart's European expansion has been limited to the Asda deal and its 1997 acquisition of 2 smaller retailers in Germany, where it has yet to make a profit. Mr. Scott was speaking before a series of meetings in Brussels with the European Commission officials, including Mario Monti, the competition commissioner, and David Byrne, Consumer Affairs Commissioner. The group has endured a wave of bad publicity in its home market about how its vast stores affect local communities. Mr. Scott said the trip was part of a charm offensive in the wake of the bad publicity. Walmart recently failed in efforts to build a store in California after losing a local ballot, and it's seen a series of labor grievances become public because people with a brain hate Walmart like poison. They wish that they would croak. Is what they do, right?
Right. Twice.
Talk about evildoers, man. There ain't nothing more evil than Walmart. 5670560. I want to intersperse. I mean, these people better get used to it. I want to intersperse some of your really great calls here with all this other good stuff we're doing. You know?
Dispersing.
And by the way, the guy called before I found out during the break was Castronova's boyfriend, the one we had to dump. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Well, you know, Paul copies everything I do. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
It pains me, but when, F Walmart, when I pay $10 to $20 more just to go to another store for something, it pains me in the wallet, but I just can't stand them.
Yeah.
They didn't even take the time to get W to learn how to pronounce the prison name. Did you hear any of that last night?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Don't be picking on our illiterate president, okay? You got a lot of nerve, sir, and Abu Ghraib. Come on, get with it. Did we hear any of that last night, huh? Did you get it?
No, I missed it.
Oh.
We're getting it, though. Abu Ghraib.
Oh. Man, oh man, it would be scary if it weren't for those big paychecks, and of course in your case, and in Josh's case, well, you don't care. He's worried about hanging on. Well, of course, we've got a long way to go. We got 118 games to go or something like that in a baseball season, so he's okay for a while. as long as he smiles at Dave Van Boring and pretend, oh, you're great, Dave. You're really a great broadcaster. You're a sensational broadcaster.
I don't think
you're
he has
exciting.
to talk to him a lot.
What is it?
I don't think he has to talk to him a lot.
Do you have like a lot of verbal intercourse with Mr. Van Boring or not?
Just in between the innings.
And he says...
Nothing.
I'm a homo? Oh, boy. So sad. We like the Bookster a lot, though. Book should be doing the whole game. We don't need no Dave Van Boring. Got an exciting team, a world champion team, and they got this loser on there, this guy that did the games on the Internet in Montreal, of course, where they don't even know what a baseball is. They wouldn't know a baseball from a kumquat, those frogs. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? I'm keeping a close eye on this. 643 votes. Aren't you keeping an eye on it?
Both of them.
The military strategy, that's coming up next.
Good. Thanks, Wolf. You idiot. You Nazi bastard, you. He's from Buffalo, by the way, Wolf Blitzkrieg. Don't trust him. What bothers you most about Bush? He's just a face man for neocon extremists, 177. He's a moron, 163. What an insult to every moron on the planet that is. And when he does pronounce the word right, nation, we're very, something or other. I mean, every word comes out like a bozo, like a simpleton would, like he's trying to articulate, to enunciate, to speak a word and not sound like a buffoon, like a Dumbo. He's a moron, 163. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 137. Nothing wrong bothers them. He's a great leader, 82, 12.7%. God help us. God.
Oh, God.
He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 63. He's divisive and hate-mongering, 21. Molly Ivins writes, how fascism starts. I better do the break, though. One thing I hate is when I start getting one of these boring bedtime stories, and I have to, it's Readus Interruptus. I hate that.
And it hurts, too.
And, well, you lose the momentum. You lose the mo.
Absolutely.
Momentum is what you do. All the meaning of it. For those 4 people out there who really care about my reading these stories, the rest of them, they just like to hear the sound of my voice on here, including the ones who pretend to hate me like poison. They just want to hear my voice on here. It makes them feel, oh, yeah, exactly. Retire! Isn't that what you do at Goodyear?
Yeah. Haitian tire on Hallandale
Take your
Drive.
vehicle and retire! When they get like bald and worn down. Kind of like Moe's head.
Absolutely.
Maybe Moe ought to go to Goodyear and retire! That bald spot. Put something on it, please. People are talking. And Geldie, of course, taking a real shot at him this morning. And I noticed a little bit of that hostility seeping out of those comments. Right there at the very ass end of the Geldie for a Joe Rose show. About, and it's not your show, Geldie, okay? So Mo had every right to bitch and moan because he knows what a backstabber you are. And the fact you've turned on him like a rat, of course, we know why you turned on him like a rat. In fact, how the hell did you put up with it that long? Isn't that the question around the building? How did Geldie put up with him that long? It's called survival. He's got a wife and 2 kids now.
Right.
How can a punk like him afford to be having 2 kids? I wonder what his kids' voices are going to... What do you think they're going to sound like? No, that's bad. Don't be picking on Geldie just because he's got a squeaky voice. He sounds like a silly little girl. 12 minutes past noon at 560 WQAM. Let me tell you right now, people are fat. Do I have to tell you that?
No.
People are all fat. We're just oozing with fat. I notice even Josh is starting to pork up a little bit. You notice that?
Which Josh? This one here?
That one's right there.
I don't know.
Little bit.
Yeah, I've been eating.
Huh? Yeah, he's been eating. He's up there eating in a press box, so probably eating up all Dave Van Boring's food. Anyway, if you're on the Atkins, Sugar Buster, South Beach, or any low-carb, sugar-free diet, desperate to lose that fat and stay alive, head for a great store called Delights of West Boca, the #1 low-carb store in America. This is for you. Many of the new reduced-carb products on store shelves are geared toward cutting back on carbs a little bit, not on losing weight. Well, what kind of a bunch of communist crap is that? Delights of West Boca's expertise continues to be and always has been on the weight loss phase of low-carb dieting. At Delights, you'll find well over 1,000 great-tasting products with a focus toward the lowest possible carbs that can really help in a successful low-carb weight loss plan. Have some taste and lose that weight. Their spring sale is in full swing right now, so stop on by. Their staff knows dieting from top to bottom. They know you from top to bottom, too. They're open every day, 7 days a week, from 10 till 10. Delights of West Boca, you'll find them on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. Or call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, LOWCARB. Or on the web, it's lowcarb.com. Delights of West Boca, there are a lot of stores with similar names, but there's only one. It's your official Atkins Retail Center.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
12:18 at 560 WQM. What are they trying to say?
I have no lie.
Oh, I heard that. Boston Globe's got a great story here. You know, Tim Russert, one of the most boring people, one of the most pasty Irishmen who ever stepped on the face of the earth. He's also from Buffalo, by the way. Have you ever noticed the one thing Buffalo people have in common?
I do see the trend.
Amazingly boring. I mean, really coma-inducing. I mean, Woody Graber, he's a good guy. Boring. Every time
Love
he calls
Woody
the
Graber.
show.
Hey, Woody.
Huh?
Hey, Woody Graber.
No, you like him because he gets you free tickets. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but he's boring.
Lincoln Park coming up.
I mean, Fat Boy Jeff High, boring. I mean, you know, when the most important thing you can say in your life is,
Hiya, Pally!
and that's all you got, and you don't do anything about writing copy for your clients, which he's, you know something, they're all in bed together, which he must be taking up a hell of a lot of space, but the whole sales department's in bed together. You notice when I was there and I said to Skippy, name me one account you sold on my show since you came here, besides the ones you inherited and are sucking the commission from, name me one account you sold on this show, and he hightailed it right out the door. Man, oh man. Am I right?
Yeah.
You saw it?
I saw it. It was funny.
It was pathetic. It was tragic. He epitomizes the two himself. It's one of the great mysteries of all time that this station makes the money that we do, especially on this show, because our sales department is just useless. And I do intend to continue ripping them an ass because it's deservedly so. They are just pathetic. If they didn't have the numbers to sell that we generate here, they couldn't sell halava to Orthodox Jews. Anyway, in the Boston Globe, here's a picture of a bunch of college graduates snoozing. This is great. I'm going to put it on the website for tomorrow. No more today, Eric. I know you're under a lot of stress. Of course, if you let Josh take care of that, you wouldn't have to be bitching about it all the time, you know. Oh, whoa, you know. There's another one. Another martyr in waiting. Whoa, gee, 29 stories. Whoa. Well, you wouldn't have to do any of them if you let Josh. Josh is perfectly capable of doing it. He's got plenty of time in between and around those Marlin games of getting laid. He's got plenty of time. What else is he going to do, right? That's about it. And eat. Eating like crazy. Russert. I beg your pardon?
Huh?
Is that like another, you got another customer now? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Leave the mic open.
Russert BC speech stresses values. It shows a picture of these grad students who are in a coma. Meet the Press anchor addresses graduates. In a speech emphasizing Catholic values, Meet the Press anchor Tim Russert told the Boston College class 2004 yesterday that their this picture, you got to see it, that their Jesuit education is a special gift and also called for measures to prevent clergy abuse of children. Russert, whose son Luke, you see where this is going?
Yeah.
Luke will enter Boston College in the fall, praised the university for addressing the abuse scandal directly in a series of lectures, seminars, and classes. Russert, who described himself as a respectful servant in the laity of the church, also said the key to a meaningful life is understanding what is God's work here on earth. Yada, yada, yada. And it goes on and shows the kids are snoozing and snoozing and snoozing and snoozing and passing out. It's a beautiful thing to watch. But in the meantime, Tim Russert is coma-inducing. He's just pathetic. Why the hell would anybody want him? And not only that, but he's making the rounds now with this stupid book that he wrote. Oh, it's #1 on the New York Times list. Big deal. About his father, Russ, and what is it called? Russ and old Russ, or young Russ and old Ron and young Paul. I don't know what the hell it's called. About his father. If I haven't seen him on every stinking show telling about his father nearly died in the war and he had a horrible accident and yada yada and he was in the hospital 6 months and how he learned all his values about life from his father. Well, that's nice. It's a nice hearts and flowers story. Save it once a year on Father's Day and the rest of the time get out of our face with it, okay? Go ask some tough questions, you simpleton. No wonder Colin Powell was hiding behind a palm tree. 5670560. Pound 5, he is really annoying. You know, we do those things about annoying people on TV. Mm-hmm. To me, he's one of the worst. He is such a nebbish. He's such a, you know, and he always looks like he's going to jump out of his suit. He's always got that real nervous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many years has he been doing it?
About 30, man.
By now, he'd have like a little self-confidence or something, but he's always like, you know, wringing his hands and like, looks like he's got ants in his pants. Maybe he does. Maybe he does.
Catholic.
He's got the old St. Vitus dance in his pants. WQAM, hello. Not there. Oh, what a shame, man. I know that was going to be the one really brilliant call today. They probably had something to say about Mike Keenan coming back. And Jacques Martin. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
The name of the book, Russ's book.
Yeah, 5670560. Pound. Well, it's been a couple of days since we heard from him, hasn't it?
At least one.
Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. How sad. How sad you people are today. WQAM, hello.
Neil, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, Pally.
To change the subject a little bit, did you happen to catch that terrible TV show, The Black Swan, last night by chance?
No, I did not. No.
Yeah, my girlfriend made me watch that for a little while yesterday. And they completely changed the way these horrible women look into actually some pretty decent-looking women. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah. Well, what time was that on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was just, my girlfriend made me sit down and watch. I'm not even sure what channel it was on.
Or what time it was on. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. 567, it was kind of like the Francisco Arruco show. It was really something, but he didn't know what time it was on.
I don't know.
I was going to say, well, at least it beat watching Bush mangle all those words, but nevertheless. Boy, you talk about desperate. What are these people really desperate to say?
I have no life.
Holy crap, man. I had a great week there last week. I mean, you saw I left on a really high note.
Right.
And I'm not talking about Jeff High either. But that was enough. That was plenty. Don't want to push my luck. 5670560, pound 560 on it. Have we had a woman call today?
No.
This week?
No.
No. In fact, when the book came out, I told you we didn't have any women. What was it, like a 0.8 or something like that?
What's the point?
They're too busy watching Ricky Lake and Jerry Springer. They're getting a real good education. They're watching Christina, all of that crap, you know.
Fuming females on Jerry today.
Yeah, there you go. Just, I mean, to me, he is one of the most unbelievable geniuses in the history of the human race because he basically takes the same thing and does it every single day. Every day! Yeah. Even with us, at least we got different bedtime stories, if that's the only thing, or different comedy bits. He does the same thing every single day.
Well, no, see, he has different trailer trash.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, I mean, it's exactly the same act every single day. And the phony, they're angry and they come out and they're gonna be, are you no good? And we got all the...
And she doesn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, you better not put that on too long, man.
So hard to find.
That's enough. WQAM, hello.
I want our special.
QAM.
Hello?
Yes?
Neil, my gosh.
Speaking.
You're the best. I'd like to say congratulations to George. You had a poll where, what we hate about South Florida, and George wasn't nominated.
Huh.
I think
that's quite an accomplishment. Well, that's probably because you didn't call that day. He was just about to get to it, and I think he just hung up. Because I got to do the break, okay? Our business is a hell of a lot more important than some polls that I want to I don't want to hear Jerry Springer again. I don't want to start playing Butch Boss. I don't want to hear Jerry Springer. I don't want to know him. I don't want to smell him. I don't want nothing to do with that trash, okay?
He's no Ricky Lake.
Put Lindy England on there if you want to put some trailer trash on. At least she's got a story to tell, okay? Beside the same crap. You better start watching Passions, mister. It's going to change your whole altitude about life. You better start taking a peek at Teresa. And then you'll understand how lucky you are not to be married to that bitch. To be married to a different. 26 past noon at 560 WQAM to a different girl. That's right. Anyway, if your carpets look like hell in a handbasket, here's the answer for you. And not just your carpeting, but your area rugs, your expensive oriental rugs, your drapery, your furniture, or your upholstery, all of these things. Ow! Then the answer is one simple call to our good friends at Dry Concepts. Dry Concepts is the best in the universe. Now, you can open up the Yellow Pages, find a zillion carpet cleaning companies. Don't trust them. You can go to the supermarket and schlep home that heavy equipment and smear a mess all over your floor. Forget about that. Because I've been using Dry Concepts for over 20 years in several different homes, and I would never dream of using anybody else. Why bother? They give you a written guaranteed price up front, which is always a fair price. They go right to work. They roll up their sleeves or not. And then they dry clean your carpet. Same idea as dry cleaning your clothing, which sucks out even the deep down dirt in your carpets, which leaves them looking brand new, vibrant in color, soft to the touch. They smell lemony fresh, and they're dry in 1 to 2 hours, so you really can clean today and still entertain tonight. In fact, you can have an orgy right on the floor. Call today and see how you can save an extra 15% on the next carpet cleaning if you have them put you on their standby list at Dry Concepts too. Be sure and tell them that old Neil told you to call for a stupendous job at a guaranteed stupendous price. Call 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071, or check them out on the World Wide Web at dryconcepts.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Randy.
What?
Hello, Randy.
What?
Are you listening to me?
No.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story, we take a good, hard, stiff look into stardom. Their hit song is synonymous with the 80s and synonymous with crap. They were Kaja Goo Goo.
What's interesting is that in America, you say Kaja Goo Goo, but in England, we're called Kaja Goo Goo.
This minor difference in pronunciation was the only interesting thing about the band that lead singer Lamal could ever find. As you'll see tonight, in a 1983 interview conducted by British pop writer Ian Looked Down My Nose at You.
You know what else is really interesting about us, Ian? What? Well, oh God. We suck, don't we? We're utter dross. Yes. Go on. Tell me the truth. Don't spare me feelings. I said you suck. On second thought, could you spare me feelings?
Lamal's real name was Chris Hamill, but he had it changed to Lamal after a psychic told him where his music would one day take him. To the mall, to the record stores, and eventually the $2.99 bin, 99 cents for the cassette. That's not really true, but it wasn't worth asking him how he came up with a fucked up name like Lamal. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business tonight on Inside the Behind.
Have no fear, I checked for an excellent bleep there, and it was all right before I played it. Now, I listened to the whole thing before. I got to listen to a lot of these before I play them,
We were
which
getting
is a real pain in the ass,
here.
by the way. What is it?
We were getting twitchy over here.
Why?
Just 'cause.
You mean like Tim Russert?
Something like that.
Man, he just grates my ass. 12:31 at 560 WQM. Molly Ivins writes, how fascism starts. It's pretty easy to get to the point where you don't want to hear any more about Abu Ghraib prison and what went on there, but there's some really good reasons why Americans should take a look at why this happened. I suspect the division here is not between liberals and conservatives, except for a few inane comments made by some trying to be flippant, but between those who are following the story closely and those who are not. I especially recommend both Cy Hirsch's follow-up piece on the current issue of The New Yorker and the investigative piece in the current issue of Newsweek. What seems to be more important than the ugh factor is just how easy it is for standards of law and behavior to slip into bestiality. The problems go all the way back to the administration's refusal to abide by the Geneva Conventions. President Bush, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, and Attorney General John Ashcroft signed off on a secret system of detention and interrogation that opened the door to such methods. It was an approach that they adopted in order to sidestep the historical safeguards of the Geneva Convention, which protect the rights of detainees and prisoners of war, according to Newsweek. Secretary of State Roland Colin Powell and the military's lawyers objected. You may recall the military's objections, broadcast as usual by retired officers, were on the excellent grounds that if we didn't observe the Geneva Conventions, neither would our enemies, the very reason that they were signed in the first place. The Pentagon still insists that suspected al-Qaeda followers have no rights under Geneva III, as they are enemy combatants rather than POWs. Geneva III also has procedures for what to do if the status of a detainee is in full doubt. Full Geneva rights apply until a competent tribunal decides. We've been holding 595 prisoners at Guantanamo for 2.5 years, not counting those we've already let go in conditions in violation of Geneva. Only now are a few of these prisoners being assigned lawyers, and the lawyers are raising hell about the whole process. The legal rationale came from the White House counsel Alberto Gonzalez, including the line, in my judgment, this new paradigm renders obsolete Geneva's strict limitations on questioning of enemy prisoners and renders quaint some of its provisions. According to Newsweek, Bush first signed a secret order granting new powers to the CIA, a directive authorizing it to set up secret detention facilities outside the U.S. and to question those held in them with unprecedented harshness. The agency also schlepped suspected terrorists off to other countries known to practice torture. In addition to the fact that torture is morally repulsive, it also doesn't work. Of course you can torture information out of people. What you can't do is torture accurate information out of people who don't have it. The Defense Department JAGs were so concerned they finally went to a New York lawyer who specializes in international human rights law and told him there's a calculated effort to create an atmosphere of legal ambiguity about how Geneva should be applied, and also said. These military lawyers named Assistant Secretary Douglas Faith and the Pentagon's General Counsel William Haynes, since nominated for an appeals court judgeship by Bush. Meanwhile, Gitmo had been taken over by Major General Jeffrey Miller, under whose loving care the 72-point matrix for stress and duress was developed, laying out as ugly a set of rules for a corsets torture stupid as anyone could dream up. You may recall Rumsfeld testifying before Congress that Miller had been sent to inspect Abu Ghraib in September 2003, as though that had been some step toward responsible oversight. In fact, Miller told the general then running the prison the place should be turned over to military intelligence. Normally, something like Abu Ghraib can be blamed in part on the downward communication exaggeration spiral, which afflicts most organizations. Someone at the top makes a mild suggestion, and by the time it reaches the troops, it's ironclad law. This appears to be a rare case of reverse spiral, with the orders coming from the very top and questions being raised about them all the way down, until finally Army Specialist Joseph Darby spoke out and set off the Taguba investigation. In this case, there's more than sufficient evidence pointing to the culpability of those at the top, but at the same time, the Pentagon is putting out the word there was only a few bad apples, 6 low-level soldiers who already have been charged, with no one else involved. This just stinks of cover-up. Damned if I think these 6 low-level soldiers should be hung out there to take the blame for a set of explicitly written and signed policies made by people wearing expensive suits, getting paid big bucks, and bearing some of the highest titles in the land. You can read all the documents and memos for yourself. It's important to know how fascism starts. Molly Ivins, her column today. You go, sweetheart. She's great. Anybody care?
No.
Oh, no, nevertheless, it killed a couple of minutes anyway. Nobody cares. See, that's the point. Do you think that there's anybody, for example, on our website, I think we'll do that poll tomorrow. What percentage of the people who go to our website, besides looking at the nude picture like of Lara Flynn Boyle who's on there today, and whoever else might be on there behind the beaded curtain, and maybe Pat Boone's in the box, other than looking at the cartoons and the funny pictures, how many people actually, you think, read the bedtime story?
About 30, man.
Just like we had the Cy Hirsch, the article from the New Yorker, we had the whole thing on there a few days ago. You think anybody read it?
No.
No. What do you think?
No.
Nobody?
Well, maybe 5 people.
Does that make it worthwhile?
I don't know.
Well, no, you're going to say no, because then it's going to save you the effort.
Whatever.
Anytime you got to do it. Anytime you got to sit there and like pour over 85 million newspapers and websites, coming up with a handful of stories that Eric might feel be in the mood to put on there.
Still, if you're doing a show, it's good to know those things, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. See, that's a good attitude to have. All you kids out there listening, that's a real good attitude to have. Even though nobody cares, even Wolf Blitzkrieg don't care.
You're armed.
I beg your pardon?
Huh?
What bothers you the most about President George W. Bush? That's our poll question today. We have 735 vote. He's a moron, 196. He's just a face man for neocon extremists, 194. Well, that's a battle there, neck and neck, nose to nose. Not that it really makes a difference. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 150 votes. 150. How about
all of these things?
Nothing. He's a great leader, 95. 12.9% of the Neil Rogers audience thinks George W. Bush is a great leader. All right. He's doing it, baby. He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 72. And he's divisive and hate-mongering, 29. 742 votes. And as far as these polls are concerned, let me just say this to you. I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
If we wouldn't have had these polls on the show, and I really can't remember when the hell we started big time on this, but if we wouldn't have had this, what would we be doing here every day? Chamba?
Yeah.
This is Eddie. Yeah, for 4 hours every day. Am I right?
Yeah, that's it.
Is there any doubt about it?
Absolutely.
Not. WQAM, hello. See, there's even a dial tone. It's better than most of the calls we get. WQAM, hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm a night shift worker, and
Right.
I would like for you to give me the number of that high jerk again so I could call him at about 3:30 a.m. this morning and see what he's doing.
954.
Yes, sir.
430.
Mm-hmm.
3827.
What's the guy's name?
Ron.
Hey, Ron, I'm coming to get you about 3:30. Be up when I call you.
All right. Hi. Hi. Oh, he'll still say hi.
He's
You
not
see, the
answering phone
reason that we are especially vicious and over the top and all of these things in this case is because we already went through this deal once before, and the people in charge of this mental defective already know that we don't want any calls from him, we don't want to be involved, we don't want any of his Prozac, and all of these things. We've already been through this once before. But evidently, whoever is in charge of this thing, this creature, don't seem to get it. And of course, you know that broad that called a few days ago.
Yeah.
That she's in it up to her armpits.
She's just a roommate at the shelter, I'm sure.
Oh, she's maybe a bunkmate, okay?
Oh.
What a thought that is, huh? Maybe she's a fellow pill popper. Maybe Rush has their numbers, probably. Maybe they all shop at Wilma's house together. I don't know. But anyway, that's the background on hi on Ron, and we want him to go away soon and also take that bitch with you, whoever she is. 20 till 1 at 560 WQAM. I want to tell you about a great place. In fact, I'm glad that Josh is back, but see, we don't really need him because we always got just in case on his days off. Like yesterday we had see. Sounds just like you. You never know the difference. In fact, maybe we can do it in stereo today. Lobster Fest is back at the Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet. What a place this is, man. You know, it's not just a place where they have a few items sitting around somewhere getting soggy. Everything is fresh and delicious. They don't use any MSG, no cornstarch, no crap. They cook everything only with cholesterol-free oils. They got 6 different kind of soups. They've got a sizzling Asian grill featuring New York strip made the way you like it, brand new Hunan fish, made lobster thermidor style, Jonah crab, oysters on a half shell. They've got hand-carved prime rib. Their new Thai specialties are out of this world. And also, don't forget, they've got a full Chinese food lineup, too. The brand new sushi bar, fresh cocktail. And because you deserve it, if you have any room left after all of these things, they've got a great dessert station, too, featuring Belgian waffles, pies, cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, and fresh fruit. In fact, there's nothing like ice cream with on top, too. Emerald Coast, 3 locations for you. They're in Pembroke Pines, Sunny Isles, and Sunrise, too. So take the whole family, book your next business lunch and whatever you like, and let the folks at Emerald Coast cook up a gigantic, fresh, delicious feast for you. Take-out delivery available, too. They're voted #1 by Zagat Restaurant Reviews and WSVN News as South Florida's best Asian buffet, and you'll agree. Call 954-572-3822 for information and reservations. That's 954-572-3822 for the unbeatable Emerald Coast Chinese buffet.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Boy, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
What's this obsession with hokey?
From the TV network, completely out of original ideas and good taste, it's the most hilarious military sitcom ever. Updated for our modern ultra-violent times. It's Prisoner Pile, USMC.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Pile? What are all these naked prisoners doing in the barracks?
Well, Sergeant Rumsfeld, we was just trying to clean up the place by stacking them Iraqis in a big old pile.
Who's we?
Me and Private Pointer. She's the one pointing to their privates. Say Shazam.
Pile? Why are you taking pictures, you idiot?
Golly, just something about looking at pictures of the big old pile of naked men. It just gives me a
bonehead. Prisoner Pile, USMC, right after the 100,000 Abdullah Pyramid, tonight on TV Land.
It gave him a what? It's 12:45 at 560 WQM. Jim Mandich at 2, the old mad dog, the ancient humper at 4 this afternoon. And then we got Marlins on deck 635 from the stadium. Marlins from some stadium, not ours. Right? It's from a stadium like Riverfront.
Right.
Are they still playing at Riverfront?
What?
Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Are they in a new stadium?
No, Great American Ballpark.
You know, it's really getting obnoxious to me because every 20 or
about 30, man.
30 years now, every team has to have a new goddamn a new ballpark. Well, okay, well you know what I meant. Oh, this is so pathetic, so childish, so juvenile that we can't say crap anymore.
But we can say
Abu Ghraib.
Well, some of us can.
Oh, you got that. Excellent.
Thank you, Eric.
Do it again.
Abu Ghraib.
Oh, no. That is hysterical. One more time for the West Coast.
Abu Ghraib.
And look at that. Just after you played that, He's a Moron went to the top on our poll again. It's pulling away now.
That's what I voted for.
As if they had any doubts. Wow. You're an illiterate president. But I still say, though, he's a pretty good fit for a good part of America, man. People there's just an awful lot of them running around on the loose. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We got the Marlins at the Reds, regardless of what ballpark they're playing in. Pregame 6:35, game time 7:10. The plunging maniac himself, Eddie K, after the baseball game. And overnight, we basically sign off. Maybe that's what Mo's problem is. What do you think?
Absolutely.
No more lead-in. When's Joe Costello coming on the air? Huh? I'd sure rather hear Mo and Joe than Mo and any day of the week. Come on, let's get with it, you guys. Of course, that might cost him a few extra bucks. I mean, the Big O, like I said, I keep saying it because it's true. He's a good guy, but boy, he is just horrendous, gruesome on the air. And then Friday, I'm driving to the track, and who do I hear? I already mentioned this yesterday. Oh, brother. Talk about having to pull off the road and take a breather. Just roll down the window and get some fresh air, take some deep gulps. Felt like I was at 7-Eleven. I wanted the old big gulp. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Do we have a woman calling here today yet, or what? WQAM, hello.
Goldie sucks.
Thank you. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I'm calling about the poll.
What about it?
What, Neil Rogers?
I beg your pardon?
What have I reached?
What have you reached?
560?
I don't know. I can't see your hand, so I have no idea what you reached. Maybe it's like a large growth. I don't know. 560 WQAM. That's us. The award-winning, world-famous Neil Rogers Show. Are you calling our show, or are you calling a wrong number? Or you'd like?
I think I'm calling the wrong number, but it's great to talk to you, Neil.
You're not calling the wrong number.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You started out the call by saying something. What are you talking about?
I have no lie.
Oh, okay. 56705. What is this man talking about? Do you understand these people? Or maybe he just wanted to get some information about some account. Maybe he's one of our clients and he wonders why his copy hasn't changed.
He was calling about the poll, but then you answered the phone.
I know. He's calling about the poll and he's got the wrong number. I mean, come on, sir. Come on. You think I was born like in the last 4 or 5 minutes? Maybe a half an hour ago, but in the last 4 or 5 minutes or something? I've been around the block a couple of times.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. He's calling about the poll. We got a poll for you, okay? Hop on it.
Okay.
567. Oh, see, now I wasn't talking. Right away, you take things that I say and you keep dropping in that Duff stuff all the time.
Rectum.
Because you just can't control yourself.
Rectum.
Okay? Now, when he comes back tomorrow, we want a full analyzation. We want to find out the whole deal. I'll report about his heart, about his parts, about his liver, his bladder, his spleen, his gallbladder, his, whatever. His
rectum.
Oh, that's for sure. Man, oh man, we want to find out how that excavation came out. And you notice, speaking of people with balls, you notice Clarence did not come running in there and saying, oh, well, I'm Todd Rex, I'm working on that. We got like 50 minutes to go until that spot's supposed to be on again. There is absolutely, positively no excuse not to have an acceptable piece of copy. It's not rocket science. It's very simple what we need to be done. And here we are again. Again, and there's nowhere else to put it these days. You see this log? There's nowhere else to stick it. Although, Todd, yeah, the same for you, Screwan, okay? Make sure it gets around. Just pass it around a little bit. And not even a response. And you know what my philosophy is? If they don't care, then why the hell should we care? I'm not going to get all bent out of shape. If they don't care about their accounts that much, then probably they ought to be running on another station somewhere where they want to service the account. You can't complain about the service you get from the QM sales department because there ain't any. Believe me when I tell you that. In fact, anybody else in the market wants to use that, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Because I'm one of the victims. We got all of us on here. We're victims of this sales department. Oh yeah, they run a lot of billing through there. No question about that. Just give us the effing money. That's it. But other than that, forget about it. In fact, every time you say, I need some copy for so-and-so, fat boy.
Forget about it.
Yeah. That's the standard response. Hey, Todd Dreck, we need some copy today.
Forget about it.
Right. Stock answer they got, because they can't be bothered with that. War, Religion, and National Interest by James Goldsboro. Do I have time to do? Yeah, I do. President Bush's statement to Bob Woodward that he asked God for advice before starting war with Iraq deserves attention. It gives Bush's war a special context. Unlike most presidents, Bush wears his religion on his sleeve. He has said that God wanted him to be president, that only Christians go to heaven, that creationism as well as evolution should be taught to children, and that Jesus is his favorite philosopher. As president, Bush set up an office for a faith-based initiative that did not work out. Woodward said Bush told him he did not appeal to his father for advice on Iraq because there's a higher father that I appeal to. Another reason he might have preferred a higher father is that George H.W. Bush probably would have advised against war. Supported by aides Brent Scowcroft, James Baker, and Colin Powell, Father Bush opposed the occupation of Iraq in 1991. Religion is already a subject in this presidential election, not because John Kerry is a Catholic. Kerry, like John Kennedy in 1960, is attempting to keep religion out of the race, telling Time magazine that my religious beliefs are my personal business. Some Catholic bishops taking aim on politicians who don't follow church counsel on issues like abortion may make it hard for Kerry to keep religion out, but he's trying. Bush has no such reluctance. He long has emphasized his born-again evangelical Christianity and how it lifted him from a midlife alcoholic crisis and sent him into politics. Jimmy Carter was our first born-again evangelical president, and while that may have helped him defeat Gerald Ford in 76, it gave him little help against Ronald Reagan in 80. Whatever Carter's relationship to God, his foreign policy was a mess. Even evangelicals, the nation's largest religious category, turned against Carter in 80, according to the Harris poll. Religion normally is not an issue in presidential elections. 1928 and 60 are exceptions because it is rarely seen as a political asset. In a nation of many creeds and denominations, a candidate emphasizing his beliefs risks losing more than he gains. The idea of going to war because God is on your side is something alien to American history. The founding fathers in making war against Britain did not appeal to religion. In a new book about them, University of William & Mary historian David Holmes stresses the lack of religiosity of Franklin, Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe, calling them all deists or Unitarians. Abraham Lincoln, not a religious man, leaves no record of having consulted with a higher father when the South opened fire on Fort Sumter. America's wars of the past century were fought over national interests, not religious ones. Woodrow Wilson was the son of a Presbyterian minister, but German submarines, not God, got us into WW1. Bush's war is different from past American wars because it was a war of choice, not necessity. German submarines weren't sinking our ships. Japan hadn't attacked. World communism was not threatening. Iraq was not a fount of terrorism. It was America's first preemptive war ever. The strongest support for Bush's war came from Tony Blair, Britain's most religious leader since Gladstone. Like Bush, Blair prays. He keeps a Bible by his bed and says he will only answer to my Maker for British deaths in Iraq. When David Frost asked if he and Bush prayed together on Iraq, Blair declined to answer. If Blair prays on Iraq, he's not being answered. Iraq has become a series of crumbled beliefs and dashed hopes for the Prime Minister, wrote The Economist last week. Bush is likely less circumspect about religion than Blair because Americans are more religious than the British, according to polls. In a recent survey, the Pew Research Center noted that 51% of Americans say they believe in prayer, up from 41% in 1987, and that most of the increase comes from evangelicals. While there always has been a correlation between conservatism and religiosity, Pew states, the relationship has grown notably stronger. Evangelicals at 30%,
About 30, man.
today make up the largest U.S. religious category. 11 of the 12 most religious states are in the South, and the 10 least religious states are in the North and West. These data suggest evangelical politicians may not be so cautious about religion. The idea that you risk more than you gain by mixing religion and politics may change when you can count on a solid evangelical South bloc, and you're not going to win the North and Far West anyway. The idea of a God-fearing Christian president taking the nation to war against an evil Iraqi regime helps explain the nation's initial support for Bush's war. That support was strengthened after he sought to connect Iraq to the 9/11 attacks, a connection we now know was false. Events of the past year, however, should cause all Americans, including evangelicals, to ask questions. America, not Saddam Hussein, has become the hated enemy in Iraq. Preemptive war, religiously motivated or not, is never just war. War is a matter of national, not religious interest. Pretty good article by James Goldsboro in the Chicago Sun-Times, I thought.
Yeah.
And the audience is going like that. They're praying to God. They got their hands together right now. They're praying for it.
And their eyes scrunched.
And maybe if they're lucky, they'll get it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 1256 at Q at JUAM. Is your company suffering from regulations and increased labor costs? Let Oasis Outsourcing help you when it comes to the people side of your business. Payroll administration, Fortune 500 company employee benefits, human resource services, and risk management are just a few of the services that Oasis Outsourcing can cover to help your business make you a lot more money, be more profitable. Call Oasis Outsourcing today for a free evaluation, 1-866-OASIS. That's 1-866-286-2747. With more than 60,000 employees worldwide, Oasis Outsourcing understands the many facets of human resource management. Outsourcing is being recognized by firms both large and small as a powerful management choice, which lets you focus on your core business while leaving all those operational details to Oasis Outsourcing. Let Oasis Outsourcing make your business more profitable. If you'd like a free evaluation with no consultation, call them toll-free, 1-866-OASIS. That's 1-866-286-2747 for Oasis Outsourcing.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Boy, it's the 1 to 2 hour.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Yes.
I have no line.
101 at 560 WQM. Here's a pretty good fax from Gary. Thank you, Gary. He says to Neil and George and Josh, hi, guys. I went to the Beat and Curtain yesterday, saw the picture of Betty Page. I didn't get a chance to write you a note. I'm a long-time listener, faxed you a couple of occasions. I have an interesting perspective on Betty. If you think censorship is a hot topic today, you should have seen it in the early, You should have seen it nearly 5 decades ago. Like many baby boomers, I had never heard of Betty Page. It wasn't until my sister dated and married a guy named Ira Kramer. Ira's mother is Paula Klaus. Paula, along with her brother Irving Klaus, ran a small bookstore in New York. They discovered Betty Page and put her on the map. They helped her get a start in modeling, doing photo shoots. Picture-taking clubs were prevalent. Many men would pay for the privilege to snap photos of beautiful women like Betty. Irving Klaus recognized Betty's talents and appeal. They saw she had a way of playing to the camera. The long and short of the story is that she later did short films, some softcore and bondage pictures. They used her beauty and sensuality to make her a star. I'm really busy today, so I can't tell you the entire story. Irving and Paula's husband, I think his name was Jack, were brought before the House Un-American Affairs Committee, headed by Senator Estes Kefauver from Tennessee. They were interrogated and threatened with jail for sending those pictures through the mail. Paula was instructed to destroy all the materials related to Betty Page in order to keep her husband from jail. Thankfully, she did not. I wish I had more time to vent. I listened faithfully, and like you, are constantly concerned that our rights are going by the wayside. I may try to call. We're headed in the wrong direction, down the wrong road, and losing what little rights we still have. Wake up, America, like Neil says. You can hear the boots stomping on the pavement. Gary. Thanks, Gary. How do you like that?
Yeah.
There's one Jew that ain't voting for Bush, I'll tell you that. There's one.
One.
Oh, but he's so good for Israel, and blah, blah, blah. He says all the right things, yeah. Okay. Wow, talk about having a death wish. Talk about wanting to be turned into a bar of soap. Talk about being turned into a lampshade. I mean, what kind of crazy people...
Liquid soap these days.
...want to be schlepped down the road to Armageddon by a bunch of born-again fundamentalist goyim. I don't get it. I don't understand it even for a minute. But, of course, these are just people rationalizing, and most of them tend to be people with a lot of money who really just want the tax breaks. So they come up with this smoke screen, this cloud of all of this other crap, to cover up the fact that it's just a selfish thing. At any rate, how's Todd Dreck doing? We got that copy for this hour? And you have heard nothing? Nobody has come in there and given you a message?
No.
Given you like a message in a bottle? A whisper? A tap on the shoulder? Anything?
Duff was just in here with a message.
And what's the message?
You are not alone, guys.
No, seriously. He's busy getting doctored, okay?
No, he's here. He just got back, and he's good.
Everything came out good. Well, that's fine. We don't want to hear about his painful defecation. We'd rather hear about what Todd Dreck is doing. Now that he's in there, he can do something useful, which, believe me, he can write it on his diary when he goes home. Do something useful, Duff, please, okay? We've been going through this is my last day, okay? If it doesn't show up for this next break, that's it. Not that it's a big deal, not that the audience really cares. It's just a real good example of the kind of grotesque crap that goes on at WGAM, and it's totally unacceptable. Anyway, here's the poll. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? He's a moron. 228. Where's that drop-in?
Don't you have it?
Don't who have it?
Oh, that drop-in. I thought you were talking about the moron.
Not moron. We don't need that.
Oh, man, I had to queue up a Duff one. Sorry.
Sorry for what?
That I lost it. I forgot what I even put it on.
Oh, brother. He's a moron, 228. He's just a face man for neocon extremists, 220. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 166. Nothing. He's a great leader, 105, 12.6%. You should live so long, as the Chinese say. He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 80. And he's divisive and hate-mongering, 33. Out of 832 votes, that's pretty heavy duty, you know what?
We'll take it.
And we will. And at this time of the year, are you Schmidt and me? There's nobody in town. Even I saw that last week. Every day the drive to work was almost like a walk in the park. And as the week progressed, it got slimmer and grimmer and not much. But then they gave away those jerseys at the ballpark on Sunday. We had 40,000 screaming so-called fans. Man, who are you people kidding, huh? Are you kidding me?
No.
You kidding anybody?
No.
Oh, but it's Randy Johnson and Don Travolta. And they just happen to be giving away that free crap. All you got to do is... all the people that bellyache and whine and they can't afford this and they can't afford all the food and the admission and the gas and the parking. And if you give something free away, all of a sudden they must have the money tree in the backyard. Remember Phil Rizzuto used to do the spots for the money tree?
Yes,
well, they must have the money tree growing in the backyard. And they're just, they're saving it for a future in case times get tough. But just on those days when there's a free giveaway somewhere, they rush out there to the money tree and they start picking 50s and 100s off of that tree. No problem at all. Hop in the van. Let's all go to the ballpark. We're going to get some free crap. WQAM, hello.
Police!
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line.
Now.
I beg your pardon?
I said the gloves are off now.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, make no
During
mistake
one of those
about it.
100 calls I just made, he said he gives up. He wasn't going to call anymore.
Oh, Ron?
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean, the gloves are off now? What does that mean?
That means now it's I'm going to be serious about it.
You or him?
Well, we'll see who gives up first.
I see. Oh, that was him?
That was him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Who said he wasn't going to call anymore after today?
Oh, what a silly fool you are.
Well, I know that.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Have you all discussed that clause that the organization has in there for Geldie?
And what clause is that, sir?
Well, by the opening day, if there is a season,
Right.
by the time that the first puck drops, his testicles must also.
I like that.
Have a great day. Oh, and George.
In fact, I think there's an equal chance of both.
Yeah, George, I have a CD I'll be bringing you, Frank Zappa Live in '88, and he has a song called "The Torture Never Stops," and that's a little apropos for what's going on.
Yes, it is. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. That was a good line. Oh, and speaking of Frank Zappa, we got an Eric Idle bit that George is going to have to work for about how many hours?
About 30, man.
To clean it up and put all the bleeps in, but it is just great, where he rips Bush and he rips Walmart and he rips everybody. Ashcroft, it's a beautiful thing. Good old Eric Idle, man. Monty Python, thank God they're still alive. At least most of them are. Which is the one that died?
Graham Chapman.
Graham Chapman, he's dead. But his memory still lives on. WQAM, hello.
Everybody. Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, Neil?
All right.
Neil, I just wanted to call in and chime in on, I don't know if you've heard this guy Schmidt on 610, your former station.
I don't listen to Lardass Jr. No, I don't listen to right-wingers.
Oh, yeah, he's got me so riled up. He's the biggest Bush pusher I've ever seen, and he just gets me all riled. I don't know if he's blind to see that, there's so many books out there and, so many movies. You got Fahrenheit 9/11. He's just getting me so riled up, I just want to choke the guy if I see him.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Do a good job. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. But I'm sure he's listening every single day. Just like the people who hate me like poison. Oh, do you hear the things that faggot says? Yeah, and they're listening right now. By the way, have a nice day or not, as the case may be, whatever you choose. Those people in that category. See, like I've told you many times before, I don't understand that. Life is too short. It's a lesson I keep trying to teach you. I mean, you do whatever you like. I realize you have very limited choices. Your radio is basically a toilet now. But, I mean, why you listen to things that you know are going to be aggravating and offensive and not that just you disagree with, but are just asinine on the face of it, you must be some kind of a masochist. Or maybe the other possibility is...
I have no line.
That might be it. 567, I want to take... I got a whole bunch of stuff here, but I want to take a lot of calls this hour because I feel like we shortchanged our listeners. You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Hi.
That's what I was trying to say. Now, you actually had conversation with this creature today?
No, I used the speakerphone here, the one in the studio.
What is that?
I didn't do any speaking.
Who did?
He did.
Yeah.
In other words, that he was just having a conversation with a dead line.
Well, how is that possible?
I can hear it. He can't hear me, and I wasn't saying
But
anything.
what was he calling on? When was this?
I was calling him.
Right.
To check the number to make sure that, it was him.
Right.
And sure enough.
And what was he saying?
All right, I give up.
After we gave his number out.
I won't call the show anymore.
Maybe his caretaker was out, peddling herself around town or something. Who the hell knows? Real cheap, no doubt. WQM line 9, hello.
They took her jobs.
WQM, hello.
Hi there, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Is this Mike Keenan?
No, it's not.
Oh, just a joke. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say Michael Morris sucks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, thanks. Brilliant. And so do you. You only wish that you had like 1% of Michael Moore's ingenuity and money in your wallet and in your pocket and in your brain, but you don't. And that's your great line. Michael Moore, that took a lot of brilliance on your part, okay? Michael Moore sucks because he reveals the truth and because he's got the balls to stand up in front of the world and tell it like it is. And this guy can't handle the truth because he's, number one, an emotional cripple, and number two,
I have no line.
That problem as well. Now, that was very profound, and I'm sure will have a fantastic impact on the entire audience, on our vast audience out there. I'm sure that they'll be pondering that all day long to hear you say that Michael Moore sucks. That just, aren't you impressed?
Yeah, I understand there's going to be a movie called Michael Moore Sucks.
Right.
And this guy's going to make it.
But after we watch Fahrenheit 9/11, a lot of people won't think that Michael Moore sucks, and especially after watching Bowling for Columbine and maybe reading his books. In fact, maybe have somebody read one of his books to you, sir, and maybe you might change your mind, although I doubt it. because it's obvious where you're coming from. 12 minutes after 1 at 560 WQAM. Voom is TV, but not just ordinary pedestrian TV like you're used to. Voom is high-definition TV, delivered via satellite dish and HD receiver. The picture is so superior to regular TV, you will not believe it. The quality is like comparing the latest DVD to Geldie's voice. Voom is the only entertainment system designed for high-definition TV. Voom's got the most HD TV anywhere and provides all the equipment you need to enjoy the ultimate HD TV experience, including the dish, the receiver, and the remote, of course. Voom has got over 30 channels
About 30, man.
of HD programming that you can watch, including ESPN in high definition. That's 3 times more than you'll get from cable, and they've got all your other favorite channels, too, like HB, MTV, even your local channels as well. Voom's got over 120 channels of great entertainment. Voom even has exclusive channels of HD movies, music, and sports that you cannot get from your cable or satellite company at all. So with Voom, you get all the stuff you're watching now, plus all these new awesome high-definition channels on top of that, too. For a limited time special offer, call them today or check them out online. The number's 1-866-848-8666. Online, you'll find them at Voom.com. The offer includes free installation, no upfront cost, and no long-term commitment either. But you better do it in the next few days because the offer ends May 31, which is a week from yesterday. Call them toll-free, 1-866-848-8666, or log on to them at Voom.com.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Here's the story of a man named Rudy who was living in a mansion in New York with a wife who doesn't want to do her duty. Someone new pops his cork. It's the story of a man named Rudy. Judy Nathan is his latest, it would seem. In the shadows, he secretly grabs her booty. They meet at Krispy Kreme.
Rectum.
Cause the judge said Judy cannot go to Gracie. And for Donna, it was much more than a hunch. Miss Hanover knew that things were getting racy. A little pelvic punch, Giuliani. Giuliani. Now we know what the mayor's doing for lunch.
All right. 117 at 560 WQM, the world flaming Jim Mandich at 2. We got a shot at 1,000 votes during the show today. I know you don't think so, but we do. Right. We got 873, and it's only 117. I mean, Josh said right there a day that we did over 1,000, I think, for the first time during the show. Remember that day?
I do.
And that was the beginning of a whole series of those. Of course, that was back during, like, the fall when we actually had people in town. Now, in the middle of the dog days, it's already May 25. And how many people left in South Florida?
About 30, man.
All together. Not just this audience. I'm talking about the whole town. Oh, and I got some really great news. 2 pieces of good news.
Okay.
Number 1, we had a report from Miguel this morning, our very own Miguel Escobar without the facial hair, who now is telling us that many of the South Florida Cubanos are turning on Bush.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Right. That was live from the barbershop, that report.
That was live from the Cubano barbershop, and the scuttlebutt is that, no more Bush. That they're onto him, this whole thing in Iraq. The Iraq attack and all of this fallout, all these dead people, is starting to piss them off, too. And what has he done for them lately anyway? Not much. So that's great news. And even better news, probably the most important story we've ever had on this show. Guess what's back? You know who's going to love this story?
Absolutely.
Mo. Guess what's back in Afghanistan?
What's back in Afghanistan? Soccer?
Golf.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah. How do you like that?
Yeah,
look at this. Would you please repeat the name of the author of the Chicago Times editorial commentary you just read, the Religiosity piece? I would like to... Oh, boy. It's on our bedtime story. It's by, I don't know. Look it up. Well, you look it up while I'm telling you about the golf, okay? It's one of the bedtime stories. And you'll know which one it is, about religious crap. No grass, no greens, but golf is back in Kabul. Oh! They're playing in Kabul in the rubble.
Oh!
Before teeing off, mind the bombed-out barracks to your left. Don't aim for the fairway because there isn't one. The greens are actually black, a mixture of sand and oil. The clubhouse is collapsing and has no walls. Welcome to Kabul Golf Club. For a decade or so, the 9-hole course, set among rugged hills and mountains on the outskirts of Kabul, has been abandoned and the grass has turned to dusty desert and scrub. While there are no bunkers, the ball veers off at impossible angles when it hits a rock or lands in a ditch. The water feature is dried out, but the rules still apply if you land in it. The good news, you can use a tee for every shot. Now 2 players who've been part of the on-again, off-again history of the club that reflects Afghanistan's recent past want to rebuild it. During the war against the Russians, we were forced to close down, said Mohammed Afzal Abdul, the 46-year... Is there anybody over in that part of the world who is named either Abdul, Mohammed, or Akbar, or something? I mean, what is that?
No.
How many names have they got? About 5, I think. The 46-year-old club professional was a young boy when the course was built. When the Mujahideen took over Kabul City, we reopened. When the Civil War began, we had to shut again. Then the Taliban swept into power, and all hope of playing golf, which the hardline Islamic regime associated with wealthy Western diplomats like Mo, for example, was lost. I told the Taliban that I used to work with foreigners, Abdul said. I spent 3 months in a Kabul jail. Things were not much easier under Soviet-backed leaders in the late 70s and 80s. I was arrested by the communists for links with foreign diplomats and spent 6 months in prison, said Mohammed Bashir Popal, who works with Abdul at the club and hails from the southern city of Kandahar. The original course was built by the Afghans during the reign of Mohammed Zahir Shah, but moved to its present site after the king's cousin overthrew him in 73. It may provide new challenges to any modern player, but it used to be a lot worse. The entire area has had to be cleared of mines in recent months, and 3 Soviet tanks and a multiple rocket launcher have been removed. Maybe we can send Mo to play golf in Kabul. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's a landmine, Mo. Look out. Oh, no. What a shame. It may provide challenges to any modern player, but I just read that. What we need is for people to come and play and help us find restoring the grass and getting access to water, said Abdul, from driving from the high before driving from the high perch of the first tee into a former Taliban barracks reduced to rubble by U.S. bombers in 2001. The first hole, a 371-yard par 4, drops sharply, then flattens out across a barren, rocky stretch crossed by a gravel road. Caddies are sent ahead to spot balls that otherwise... I understand that's why they're using Duff as a caddy.
Why is that?
Caddies are sent ahead to spot balls that otherwise easily disappear in the glaring sun on parched near white earth.
Attention, men.
Oh, no. So did Duff come in with the answer for our question yet?
Yes.
With the solution? Huh?
Yes.
And?
Scratch it.
That's an answer?
It's an answer.
What does that mean?
Scratch it.
Okay, I'm scratching it, and it kind of hurts.
Don't use your nails.
Did you get the name of that author?
No, I'm looking over here through the pages. I don't know. I don't know the story you were talking about.
Louise, man, oh man, you are
Without the title.
Huh?
Without the title, how the hell are you going to find it?
Because you know what it's about.
Yeah, the author of the Chicago Sun-Times editorial commentary.
No, it wasn't editorial.
That's what the facts said.
Well, forget about the facts. You know the one I just read. Let's see. War of the Sex Scandal of Mice and Men. I'll find it. God. Panthers fire Dudley. Bush vows perseverance. War, Religion, and National Interest by James A. Goldsboro. Okay? No relation to Bobby and not spelled the same way. It's O-U-G-H. James J. Goldsboro. It's on our website. It's on neilrogers.com. It's right underneath. It's between How Fascism Starts and Bush vows perseverance in Iraq. It's between Iraq and a hard place. Okay? There you go. And he's right. Pay more attention in the future. Thank you. 5670560, pound 560. Well, that's some answer to the problem there. Scratch it. That's quite an answer, okay? And, of course, that was easy to do. And that's what we're going to be doing at any future time should that pop up on this show. We're doing that one's done, okay? Mark it down today. We're at the time. That's done. Finished. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
You were talking earlier about that one horrible, filthy word, S-bag, that you can't say anymore.
Right, uh-huh.
Well, you know, it's so innocuous that it was in the Blondie comic strip.
I know, that's what inspired us to be. George and I were talking about that before the show today because a few people emailed and got all bent out of shape because it was used in the Blondie comic strip, the S-bag word.
Yeah, and Blondie, of all things.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't even Doonesbury. You know,
right, exactly.
Well, can't you take it to that, can't you take it to your superiors and argue your point? I mean, I just get militant about things like that.
Because our superiors are a bunch of weak-kneed jellyfish who got the spine of a wet noodle, and as a result, whatever Joyce over in Naples or whatever that bitch's name is, corporate, whatever she says, oh, you can't say that, you can't do this, and so of course they just bend over, which our operations manager's got a lot of experience doing that.
You are not alone, guys.
Right.
Maybe you should give her number out on the air and we can have a word with her.
There you go.
Joy.
That's a thought.
Okay. Thanks,
Have a great
Neil.
day.
Good luck. God bless you.
And don't be an S-bag. See ya. 5670560. In fact, I don't even know. I mean, the S-bag gets even. Oh, gee, well, it's right on the edge now. We're crawling along that edge. Yeah. You're right on the ledge, all right. In fact, you can hear the people downstairs yelling, jump, jump. Can you hear them? I can hear them. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon. If the audience only knew, man. If they only had any idea. Oh, gee, it's, you know, well, fill in the blank, whatever it is. It's yeah, absolute panic and hysteria. WQAM, hello.
Neil!
Yes, sir.
Happy Memorial Weekend, Neil.
Back to you, Pally. And by the way,
man, I gotta
you
get
didn't wish me.
rid of
Wait
this
a
out
minute.
here.
Wait a minute.
Everybody better not.
You don't want to listen to me. You didn't wish me Happy Victoria Day yesterday. It was a holiday here yesterday, eh? Do you know that?
Happy Victoria Day, yeah.
Yeah, too late now. Well, I did mention that. And you said Queen Victoria? I don't know of any other Victoria.
Victoria Principal. Victoria
Of course, they
Secret.
got a lot of queens here now, man. You just
Victoria
ain't
Island.
You ain't seen nothing like this, I'm telling you. In fact, it's a little bit of overload, if you ask me.
Victoria from the Big Valley.
In fact, that's what the doctor told Muff when he was inspecting it. A little overload, if you ask me. That's the rumor
Would you
I'm
like
hearing.
to feel relaxed once again?
26 past 1 at 560 WQAM. You know, everybody and their brother now is peddling hair replacements. You notice that?
Yes, indeed.
How many spots have we got? How many different people on this station?
About 30, man.
Peddling all kinds of hair replacements. But Chuck Alfieri's been around for 35 years, and you can go waste your money on all of this other stuff. Charlie's the best. He's been on Good Morning America, Today Show, CBS Morning News. He is a hair maven from coast to coast because his natural hairline system is the best looking in the world. It looks like real hair that's growing out of your scalp because the most critical area of any hair system is that hairline. And Charles Alfieri's new skin-like hair system looks so great you think it's the real thing as opposed to a mousy-looking piece, a dead muskrat. And Charlie gives you this guarantee. You try a system for 30 days for a month.
About 30, man.
And after a month, if you don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, if you're not getting more ass than you ever had in your life, then return it for a full refund. See, I can still say that. Ass. In fact, I think our programming department likes ass. And Charlie also services and repairs existing hair systems, including shampoo and trim. So don't delay. Call Charlie today and change your life forever. Get yourself a great-looking piece and look younger and better than you ever dreamed you could again. Forget about the dangerous pills, all the other BS. Call toll-free 1-800-321-2413. That's 1-800-321-2413, or find out more on his website, charlesalfieri.com.
This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Get off this instant.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours.
Yes.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours.
I have no life.
Why, my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate. My religion's better than yours.
Oh my God.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I fondle boys and wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. I speak of you. We have no respect for women. Drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. Chupacabra, spooky ghost, we slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours. Oi! My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours.
Are you sure?
We wear beanies and pigtails and never ever pay retail. My religion's better than yours. Please. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors to bother you like Fuller Brush to spew our views. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours.
We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We don't want to use our brains. We're mindless lemmings on parade. My religion's better than yours.
Nothing like that compassionate illiteracy to really get everybody together. 132 at 560. We got 81 votes to go for 1,000 during the show by 2 o'clock. I think we can do it, but it's going to take a lot
cake.
of... Huh?
Oh, cakey.
Cake?
Cake.
What bothers you most about George W. Bush? That's our poll question. You can take a little peek at Lara Flynn Boyle, too, while you're in there.
That is a little peek.
Just a little quick peek. Now, don't linger too long, because John Ashcroft's eyes will start rolling around like a pinball machine if you do that. And he'll start like looking high and low and side to side, side by each. He's monitoring you, make no mistake about that. And then after you do that, vote on the poll. What bothers you most about George W. Bush? He's a moron, 257. Now, is that about George Bush or Todd Dreck? By the way, Todd, I have a message for Todd Dreck in the QM sales department.
Bye, bye, bye!
That's it. You and me. Adios. Finished. Done. Bye. Like that one spot. That bit, bye, done.
Bye, bye, bye!
Bye, Todd. I would say nice being knowing you, but it wasn't. Bush a moron, 257. He's just a face man for neocon extremist, 248. And now, how could anybody not know that? You know, does anybody really believe? I mean, even if you just believe it's Dick Cheney without Wolfowitz and Pearl and all those others.
What's a neocon? What are you talking about? Are you knocking America again, you
He's a
faggot?
dangerous religious fanatic, 116. Nothing bothers them. He's a great leader, 116, 12.5%. Did I get those? What did I say on the other one? 176 on the other one. 116, he's a great leader. Nothing bothers them. 12.5% of our audience who need to be... You know what we're going to do? We're going to keep them real busy on November 2nd or whatever election day is, November 2, I believe it is. Keep them real busy. Keep them occupied and kind of like locked in.
Got any plans for that?
He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 89, and he's divisive and hate-mongering, 35 out of 922. Now we need 78. Oh! We can do it. You put your head on the grindstone. Oh, that's cute. This is cute. Did you hear about the Muslim extremist golfer? At a recent tournament, the announcer mentioned that he blew up on the 10th hole. When asked by another announcer if Mohammed was having a bad day, the first announcer said, no, he just blew up. That's bad. Bad.
I don't get it.
Well, it's because you're not a golf guy, man. You better get into this golf business. If you're going to be in Florida, man, you better start getting with the golf people.
Sorry.
We'd have a 30 share if I was a lot more friendly with
About 30, man.
the golf crowd, if I wasn't ripping them an ass for how boring that is. And
You know, those-
there were... Yes?
Golf courses sure would be great for like ATVs and motocross bikes.
Their response always is...
I have no line.
And then we understand why they spend all their time. And, of course, people like our friend.
Absolutely.
He spends all his afternoon on the golf course because what else is he going to do? Hang around and aggravate his wife?
I'm listening.
You know, I don't want to tell you it was Mad Dog who said to me when I was there last week, but how he would like to be a fly on the wall during one of those arguments in Mo's house.
No thanks.
I don't want to... can you imagine? I can't believe what you're saying. How could you possibly be saying that my piece stinks like crazy? Anyway, Okaloosa board... I wonder if they let the muskrat run loose around the house. Do you think? Because I know they got a dog. That's probably how they get their dog exercise. He chases the muskrat all around the home. Okaloosa board bars 12-year-old from starting pagan club at school. See, right here, this is in today's Sun Sentinel on their website. Right here is exactly what's wrong with America, and then there are other things too. And don't give me this love it or leave it crap, okay? If you love America, you want America the way it used to be, not the kind of crap, not the kind of fascism we got now, not the kind of religious nuts running the country. The lunatics have taken over the asylum in a bloodless coup. Let us in! Let us in! And we got a story about that guy too on our website, much too long to read on the air. About that whole crowd and how they smeared, what's his name?
What's his name?
Pat Buchanan.
Oh.
Right. They smeared all of these people. At any rate, Crestview, the Okaloosa County School Board passed a rule to prevent a 12-year-old girl from forming a pagan club at her school. The board passed a requirement that clubs have at least 5 members and a faculty sponsored after the girl's mother, Stephanie Aigrette, had approached officials at Max Bruner Junior Middle School in Fort Walton Beach, in Florida. She doesn't have enough people to start her club, Aigrette told the board during an hour-long debate Monday, so this, in my opinion, is just one way the government can shut down undesirable clubs. American Civil Liberties Union members also argue the rule would violate the girls' rights and federal laws on equal access. We can beat this to death, but I personally think the policy is more than adequate to protect students' rights, board member Rodney Walker said. The girl had asked about forming a club based on her pagan beliefs because the school had Christian clubs, her mother said. Bruner officials, however, told her she'd have to gather 200 signatures to form such a club. 200 heathens. Well, in Crestview, they probably don't have no 200 heathens, right? They're all a bunch of brainwashed, dithering idiots. When the Aigrettes complained to district officials, school superintendent Don Gates proposed a district-wide policy with a 5-student minimum. The Aigrettes and ACLU said that any numerical limit violates federal law. School district official, how many do you think they should have to form the club?
About 30, man.
That's enough. School district lawyer Jeff McKinnon said the law does not bar schools from setting rules regarding meetings on school property and the formation of groups or clubs. The girl's father, Marcel Ghraib, said the family may pursue the issue further. Oh, these are frogs. Ghraib. Yeah. 2 years ago, the board also rebuffed the request to remove the Pledge of Allegiance from classrooms that contended the phrase, under God, violates the separation of church and state doctrine of the First Amendment. And, of course, they're absolutely correct. But all the brainwashed religions out there, oh, can't do that. They're trying to take God out of the classroom. All this other crap. All this simplistic idiocy, man. In fact, you know who it was?
Who?
Who was rambling this crap? Do you remember the black guy that was Nick Berg's friend in his hometown there in Pennsylvania that was making all the rounds on the... remember him? He was there everywhere.
The neighbor?
Yeah, the neighbor. His good friend. And they start, on one of his 500 appearances, he started going off on his whole business about all the things that are wrong and about how they've taken prayer out of the school and God out of our lives. I just about puked my guts, man. What the hell was he doing on there in the first place? That's what I would like to know.
Because he would.
I see.
You know
he didn't look Jewish to me. At any rate. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon. I know my Jews, man, believe me. Takes one to spot one. And I also know my, oh yeah. I got the best gaydar on the face of the globe. Believe me, man, they don't have to have those pear-shaped hips for me to see them. I don't know what you're laughing about. That is a dead giveaway. What? What are you laughing about? It's the truth. Don't forget about that queer eye for the queer guy and all that crap on TV, man. I know a fag when I see one. You know what I'm talking about?
Rectum.
Believe me when I tell you.
Johnny Dark has pear-shaped hips.
Does she really? Well.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
See, the thing about you that caught my eye was the way your ass seemed to eclipse the sky. Kinda hard to explain, but girl, I'll try. You've been eating way too many fries. See, a cow kinda looks just like you. No girl's got a behind quite like you.
Rectum.
Got a pair of fat cheeks from those fatty foods. That is why your derriere is so huge. Your behind is like a truck, Mack truck. No! You need to have a sign that says, caution, wide load. Is it underwear you wear, or a parachute? No girl's got an ass as big as you.
144, and we need 44. 44 more for 1,000 votes on a poll during the show, which would really be quite an accomplishment. We get a gold star and a purple jelly bean.
44 mo.
If we can get 44 mo at 144. And this that you just faxed me, this is the most important thing in the history of mankind. Maybe not, but it's important crap. From Josh. Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome.
Not you. Get out of here. It's from freepress.net. It says, last year, Federal Communications Commission Chairman Michael Powell called for public hearings after millions of Americans decried his gutting of media ownership rules. Now he's a no-show with a sudden scheduling conflict just one day before his official FCC hearing to listen to public concerns. This is an outrage. See, I'm getting all choked up about it. It's an outrage.
Absolutely correct, sir.
At the last hearing in San Antonio, Texas, a rowdy crowd of hundreds gave Powell a lashing that lasted nearly 7 hours. Big media representatives cracked under audience pressure. Powell was put to shame, and he's afraid it'll happen again. Let's make sure it does. Yeah, I read about that scheduling conflict. In other words, a no-show. Today we're launching a national campaign to gather 500,000 signatures demanding local FCC hearings in every state in America. If you want to sign the petition, go to, and we'll put a link. Make sure Eric puts a link.
Okay, yeah.
Are you going to make sure of that?
Right, I was just doing it.
Go to freepress.net/rules and sign the petition. freepress.net/rules. We'll put a link to it right on our website because we know a lot of you need help. Second, pass this on to your friends, your colleagues, everyone you know who wants local, skeptical, diverse, and competitive media, not just to have cheap channel and Viacom own every damn station in the country. In the past 2 months alone, Powell has attended the posh industry-sponsored National Association of Broadcasters annual convention and the National Cable and Telecommunications Association Gala, but where is he during his own localism and diversity public hearing? He is a no-show, just like his president, he's AWOL. AWOL Powell. It says Michael Powell is AWOL, and we're not going to let him get away with it. Demand a hearing in your state. Go to freepress.net/rules, and it's signed Josh Silver. Oh, I see. This is from somebody. I said, thank you, Josh. It was Laub, L-A-U-B. What kind of a name is that? Or maybe that's the last name. I don't know what that is. Thank you, whoever sent this. P.S. A U.S. Court of Appeals will decide the fate of Powell's media ownership rules within the next month or two. Stay tuned for more information. So, you better get with it. P.S. Stay up to date on this and other media issues with our free email news headline service, freepress.net. Get on it. Hop on it. Hop aboard, okay? It's about time we started seeing a little more evidence of people screaming and yelling and carrying on. Maybe not too late. What do we got on that poll now? We got a shot? 972. We need 28 and 13 minutes. That should be like falling off a log. That should be like bending over in his doctor's office this morning. No big deal. Like falling out of bed, right?
Right.
What bothers you most about George W. Bush? He's a moron. 274. He's illiterate. He's a goofball. He says... What did you do with that thing?
I went to get a Duff drop.
No, forget about Duff. He's small potatoes, okay?
You mentioned him.
Nah, forget it. You're obsessed with him. I'm starting to wonder about that.
Yeah.
Josh, when the show is over, take a look and make sure George don't have a pear-shaped ass.
Abu Ghraib.
Oh, man! Whoa! That's your president. This is the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the whole freaking world. And that's what you people are supporting. That's what you respect. That's what you want. That's your leader. That's a leader. Echmer, a president. Anyway, moron 274. He's just a face man for neocon extremists like Scooter Libby and Elliot Abrams and Richard Pearl and Paul Wolfowitz and Dick Cheney. 263. Close race. He's a dangerous religious fanatic, 183. Nothing bothers me. He's a great leader. 123, 12.5%. Been fairly steady most of the day. 12.5% who are stubborn. Don't confuse them with the facts. He's a crook. He stole the 2000 election, 94. And he's divisive and hate-mongering, 38 out of 984. We got only 16 to go. Easy. Man, this has been phenomenal, you know what? You'd almost think there was somebody out there listening now.
Nah, don't go crazy.
I know they've all turned over to Paul and Young Ron and Tim and what is the pair they got on the other on Zeta now? Tim
Lex
and Slim
Harry.
and huh?
Lex and
Harry and Scary and Lex and Schmex, whatever that is.
Careful.
Now I'm careful, all right. Believe you me, I've had enough. I've had a couple of those already today. There won't be no more. Believe me. I had that one damn slip out, and we had to bleep that. Good thing Duff was at the doctor when we got those 4 slipped out on the air. Just a joke, Duff. Just relax, okay? Just stay calm, okay? Just stay calm. Everything is fine. Your job is secure for another week. Well, based on what I'm hearing. And, of course, with Geldie off to the Panther organization, what does that do? I guess Muff is in good shape now because it's going to take the two of them, him and Duff Jr., to be doing all the scheduling now. Because can you imagine how many changes are going to be during hockey season if we have one? Oh, today it's Geldie, tomorrow it's the big, and then it's maybe the Mo and the Beast now that he's sucking up to him again. That's amazing to me. When I was there, the Beast was just stupefied that Mo is now kissing his ass. Isn't that something? So I guess he's exhausted everybody else in the building looking for an ally, the Mo Man, and he can't find one.
Absolutely.
So now he's back to square one again, the waddling Beast. And by the way, Mo, the Beast don't want any party. I can't stand you. 150, and in fact, wasn't it the day after he supposedly made up and kissed my ring and shook my hand back a couple months ago when Mo came in the next morning and screwed the whole, just shot himself right in the leg.
That was the very first conversation after the big
yeah, he comes in, and instead of just saying, hey, we're going to get along now, we're going to coexist, everything's fine, instead of that, he comes in, if that Beast thinks he's going to make up with me, a childish crap for a man who's 85 years old to be worrying about little fat waddling putzes like the Beast. I mean, come on.
A New Year's card.
Yeah. If he sends you anything in the mail, have your wife open it, okay? In fact, have the muskrat open it. Hey, if you're still a little bit nervous about buying your bed over the phone, have no fear, because for over 25 long, amazing years, millions of people, including yours truly and most of us at QAM, have dialed 1-800-MATTRES for the best deal on the best brands in bedding. The easiest possible way to get a brain name mattress. No risk because if it's not perfect in every way, just call them back for a full comfort exchange. It's completely free within 30 days.
About 30, man.
No extra fees, no strings attached. Dollar Mattress is ranked numero uno in customer satisfaction. Cubans for Kerry! Oh man, or just Cubans gonna stay home on Election Day. Sounds good to me. And anyway. And they were winners of the 2004 Better Business Bureau Local Torch of Excellence Award at Dollar Mattress. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll get the best prices on the best brands with delivery on your schedule in that 2-hour window that's convenient for you, and the best customer service in the universe. So why would you waste any of your time and hard-earned cash schlepping from showroom to showroom, wasting your time? Dollar Mattress has the complete line of Sealy, Serta, King Coral, Simmons, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns & Foster Hewitt. From Kettle to Stewart, Palm Beach to Fort Myers, Dollar Mattress can deliver the finest bedding around. All you have to do is just sit there on your fat can, having a few Fritos or whatever you're chewing on, and pick up the phone and make one easy call. That's all it takes. 1-800-MATTRESS. That's 1-800-MATTRES. Or online, you'll be finding them at mattress.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Anytime they see that we're lagging in the polls, they provide a headline that will lead you by the nose.
Hussein, they said, is the one to get. Now they have only one big potato head. Don't worry about Saddam, we got him. Now we're all comfy and safe. We got him. He won't attack us no more. We got him. Praise Bush like Jesus. Who say 9/11 is what they got you to believe? Can't get any dumber than a one-party country. You believe what they say, like the gullible fool as they use the state for their corporate tool. Call the election off, we got 'em. Bush is guy and king, you got 'em.
Neo God.
Get down on your knees, you got 'em.
157, only a couple minutes away from the Mad Dog. Here's a great fax from, by the way, 1,024 votes. Nice job, folks. You see, the callers, but the listeners out there, they're great, aren't they?
The clickers.
We got the clickers. Anyway, Tracy in Kendall says, speaking of religious nuts, on my flight home from Hemet, California yesterday, a father was discussing Bible verses with his young daughter in the row behind me. Amused by such bubble-mices, I listened in. Not knowing the Bible, I couldn't tell you the exact passages, but the verses she was reading involved eye for an eye, murder, etc. As the father was emphatically supporting the violence and death in the passages to his daughter, she replied, "But isn't that wrong? I thought murder was a sin." The father instantly got angry and said, "You're not listening. Stop reading so much into it." All I could do was smile. Even a child could see that religion was different than the verse, and it was nice to hear her challenge the brainwashing. Have a great day. You too, Tracy. Thank you. That's for you, sweetheart. How do you like that? Even a child. It makes me smile like a child.
Right.
Thinking about adults. See, they get you early when you're young, and they just drum it in there just like the Nazis did. All the other expert brainwashers do, just like all the so-called cults, which is, they're small potatoes, the cults. We're talking about organizations, tax-free organizations that have millions and millions of brainwashed masses out there, man. People have been conditioned into this crap. Rather than like dealing with the world around them like intelligent human beings. Oh no, the end days are coming. All this other crap. You have to be some kind of an imbecile. You have to be certifiable. You need to be locked up somewhere and deprogrammed. You remember the days back when the cult thing was really big?
Oh yeah, the Moonies and all that.
Right, and they had all these experts that used to go around deprogramming kids. Well, how about we have some people deprogram folks who are brainwashed with these religions, okay? Especially all these Orthodox, the fundamentalist Jews and the fundamentalist Christians and the fundamentalist Muslims.
I'll go get the duct tape and the phone book.
And don't forget the Viz Queen. Or that queen. And I'm telling you, watch out for the old pear-shaped ass. First I told you about the finger thing, about which finger is shorter. I told you that.
Right, I
You
forgot
didn't believe
that
me.
rule.
Huh?
I forgot that rule.
Well, you better watch out for that finger. That's what the doctor told Duff this morning. He said it felt like a finger anyway. And then the other thing is the old pear-shaped ass. Now, when Clarence comes in tomorrow morning, in fact, he probably won't come in again if he's listening right now. No, seriously, this is the way to find out for sure, because he claims to have this girlfriend and all this other crap. Watch as he waddles away, because first of all, on Friday he was doing that, the thing which we can't say on the air again, and watch if he's got the old pear-shaped butt.
Bye! The Noel Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Abu Ghraib.
What word did you say?